as they close in on Super Bowl 58. Here are your hosts of Stiles and Watkins, Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a beautiful Thursday.
I hope you can tell me.
No,
I don't know what day.
Right, I was double checking in my mind, but it's definitely Thursday. Stiles and Watkins, Viva Las Vegas, still in Vegas for the rest of the week. Thanks to Jiffy Lube. Sactown Sports Road Trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by our friends at Jiffy Lube. When it's time for a road trip, visit Jiffy Lube for all your automotive maintenance needs. Jiffy Lube is your road trip headquarters. And actually, we are going to hear from Michelle Beadle a little bit later. Yes. And if I'm not mistaken, when we ran into her earlier, she said that she drove.
Yes,
she drove because of all the rain in Vegas. So hopefully, Michelle, we'll talk to her a little bit about it later. Make sure you hit up Jiffy Lube. Make sure you are good to go. And look, I said it on this show. I'm not messing around. We have so many guests that we are going to get into. Like we said, Warren Moon, Michelle Beadle. So we have all of them coming up. And who else? Jay is working very hard. Simone is working very hard back in Sacramento. And Nate, of course, as well. Nate's looking at me. Nate, you know I'm going to get to you. Me and Nate, we just have this funny relationship here. And Chris, I can throw to you. That's all fine and good because I'm a man of my word. Because that's all you have. We just heard that from an older gentleman. Okay, that's what he told us.
Charles Kelly from the AP.
Right, Charles Kelly for that. Look, I'm just saying, there's a lot going on, Jay.
A
lot of everybody wants to be on the show.
I know
everybody wants to be on the show, and I told Chris, and I said on these airwaves, if the Kings lose, that if the purple team in Sacramento loses, I'm not talking about them for the rest of the week. And they lost. So, Chris, if you want to speak about them, you can. But I'm not.
I respect you for being a man of your word. I think we can get through it. I think we got plenty of guests lined up until noon. At that point, if a trade happens, maybe we can talk. That's not the same team,
That's
if
true.
They make a trade,
that would be a different roster.
It's pretty much a different team.
But I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, we'll wait for that to happen, and then until that happens, I mean, not really much to say. I mean, it's inexcusable to lose to the Detroit Pistons. We had a glimpse of it when they were in Detroit, but I didn't think that it would possibly actually happen, especially coming home after a great road trip. Just to have that stinker. I mean, there was no reason for the Detroit Pistons to even be in that game. They had 40% of their roster pretty much unavailable. It was like they were playing that Grizzlies team a month ago. And I mean, I'm right there with you, man. I don't really want to waste a lot of breath when we got all of this great opportunity in front of us.
And number one, that you can't mess around with them because you were down 20 the first time you faced them. And number two, they still have done all this without Cade Cunningham.
He hasn't played once.
It's just Isaiah Stewart. So this is ridiculous. All right, this is a football show.
Always has been.
If the Kings, Jay's laughing here. I'm not kidding. If the Kings make a trade, it would technically be a different roster. But that roster that they have right now is dead to me. We're trying to have a good time today, and nobody is going to rain on my parade. We know there's a lot of rain.
Sports
going
were tough for us last night. We're sitting at the MGM.
It was not great.
The book, and
I told you
we're hanging out with name drop Matt George. It was ugly. I felt bad for him. He had to do the post-game.
He had to go do a pod. He had to go do a pod. All right.
Shout out Brendan Nunez who filled in for me on the post game. Thank you for not making me sit through that, Brendan. I appreciate it, buddy.
There you go. So like we said, plenty of guests. Andrew Sendejo. We have an opportunity for Chris to fanboy as we talk to a former Vikings player. And he
saw KJ Osborne walking around.
Basically,
come on.
I just handed the mic over to Chris and I said, Chris, do what you got to do, man. And I will say, Chris is a very professional. Okay, but I said you can be a fanboy if you want. So a lot to get to today. And there are some trades that are happening. What you said?
I'm
what's
seeing
going
right
on?
now. This is a name that
It's
was
not the
on
purple
the
team?
Kings board. No, it was on the purple team board.
Okay, who is it?
So he now comes off. This is from Adrian Wojnarowski, which you'll be hearing a lot of his name today. The Charlotte Hornets are finalizing a trade to send forward PJ Washington to the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, my
who were the
goodness.
Kings' main competition in all of these trade talks.
Brendan Nunez wanted him.
To the Dallas Mavericks.
For what?
Get ready for this one. Grant Williams, Seth Curry, and a first-round pick. So PJ Washington now finds his way into Dallas for Seth Curry, Grant Williams, who they just signed this offseason in a first-round pick.
And Grant Williams.
Grant Williams, yeah, and Grant Williams.
Are you interested in a Grant Williams in purple?
You're not.
It's the K word. I'm not allowed to say the K word.
Yeah, maybe. I got to look at his contract. That's kind of dependent. I like the idea of Grant Williams, but I think the fact that the Dallas Mavericks just moved on from him so quickly should tell you he's probably not the right fit. I mean, Dallas is a team that's pretty much looking for exactly the kind of players the Kings are looking for, and if they're willing to move on from a Grant Williams, I don't know. That just kind of tells me, or I guess it could tell me that, you know, he probably wouldn't be a good fit for this Kings team either. And I kind of think he would fit a role that's similar to Trey Lyles anyway. And, you know, I know we're not going to talk about the game, but Trey did have a good night last night. Stand up.
Yeah,
Trey.
I have no problem with Trey. I don't know.
He's
I saw something that said De'Aaron Fox made all the coaches that didn't vote for him look very smart last
geniuses.
night.
They look like
I'm sorry.
Geniuses. No,
that's just what happened.
It's been a while.
That's just what happened.
It's been a while since we've seen De'Aaron Fox look like the De'Aaron Fox that we knew him to be. And I don't know if he is hurt. We've seen him grab his shoulder too many times now. I think that him and this team desperately need this All-Star break to come. But unfortunately, before it comes, they got a really, really tough gauntlet of teams.
It's over now.
They're the 7 seed as we wake up this morning. And I believe they are 2.5 games up on said Dallas Mavericks for that 8 seed. So, you know, they got, like I said, 4 tough matchups before that All-Star break. Look, I'm just saying, because it's a fact, there's a chance that this team enters the All-Star break as like an 8 or a 9 seed.
Can we look at a positive, though? Because you said that about De'Aaron.
The game's over?
Yeah, the game's over. You know, we're done with it. But you said that about Fox. You said it made them look smart. All the coaches didn't vote him. Opposite for Sabonis. The man was a monster last night.
That's right.
He was out of control. I didn't see his stat line at the end, but we were watching deep into the fourth. He had no turnovers to go with like 30 points and 12 assists. I think you saw a line at 13.5 rebounds for the man. I think he got. I didn't see the.
Yeah,
but just from what we saw, he was amazing.
No, he was incredible.
But that's where I'm at with this, Nate. There is for sure one dog on this team. That is Domas. That is the one for sure dog on this team. I want to put Malik there. I know Malik mentally is there.
Yeah.
But some of the things that he does on the court, sometimes it's hard for me to put him there. Right?
It's that little underhand pass.
It's always
De'Aaron, where it was like he just threw it out of bounds.
And I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if everybody saw this and heard Malik say he doesn't like the booing.
Yeah.
Look, man, only the purple team, okay? Only the purple team can ruin 2 weeks of goodwill in one game.
This is ridiculous, man.
I don't care about the Harrison Barnes Revenge Tour anymore.
2
I'm like, no,
weeks.
they can go.
No.
They can all go.
Before the trade deadline. Monty McNair's got to be like, what did I do to deserve this?
He's been on the phone all night. He was up all night.
He's up all night. Okay, he might as well be in Vegas.
Who do you want?
He might as well be. He has less than 2 hours to decide because of what they did last night. If they had won last night, you really couldn't blame Monty for whatever happened next.
Yeah.
Cavs, they're on a roll. You go out, you take care of business back at home. All right, they were rolling there. You know what I mean? At that point, they would have been 7-2 their last 9 games without a loss to the worst team in the league. All right, Monty, we feel you. We can't feel you now. He does not deserve this. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing to talk about the purple team trades. Okay, who's going to win the trade-off today between Woj and Shams? And, of course, Super Bowl guests, Super Bowl talk, Niners, Chiefs. We're working hard, or are we hardly working? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Catch Stiles and Watkins live from Radio Row as they bring you the biggest guests in the NFL. Sactown Sports Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. When it's time for a road trip, prepare with a visit to Jiffy Lube for all your automotive maintenance needs, from oil changes to tire rotations and more. Jiffy Lube is your road trip headquarters.
Get the best local coverage of the big game with Stiles and Watkins.
Wednesday through Friday from 10 to 2 on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sepp Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sepp Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sepp's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Our Stiles and Watkins road trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. For car maintenance from oil changes to tires and brakes, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Now back to more of Stiles and Watkins.
Special thanks to Jiffy Lube for making our road trip to Radio Row possible. Jiffy Lube, a proud sponsor of Sactown Sports. Buddy Hield is on the move again. We're trying to keep up with everything, but Buddy Hield is now headed to Philly.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, from Tyrese Halliburton to Tyrese Maxey.
Right.
That's not a bad deal for Buddy.
No.
Just hit some threes.
That's all he's got to do.
And kick it.
Yeah, it's the perfect situation for Buddy. I mean, he really. The only problem will be, I mean, those Philly fans, if they get sick of him, he's probably going to hear it a lot. And he should be in a good situation. I mean, Maxey's going to have the ball in his hands a ton.
Right.
How
much he's going to play? How much
Embiid comes back, yeah. I'd assume a good bit. I mean, Philly needs some shooters since they lost JJ Redick, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a really good move for Philly. For Indy, I think that, kind of like it was with the Kings, I think they knew that if they wanted to be a serious team, you kind of need to move off of a guy like Buddy Hield because you just can't play him major minutes in a playoff series, and down the stretch, he's not really a guy that you trust to defend or make good decisions.
Yeah.
And looking at this right now, I'm seeing Shams just put out another Kings target is off the board.
Now? This
This one might have been our favorites too. Royce O'Neal is headed to the Phoenix Suns, who don't even have assets. I don't understand how this is a thing.
Right.
The Phoenix Suns are trading right now. All that it says is salaries and 3 second-round picks for Royce O'Neal.
3 second-round
picks, which is a lot of second-round picks.
Right.
It's not necessarily a high, like it's not like it's you got to value those, but 3 is still like that's pretty significant amount of assets for a guy who's eighth guy in your rotation, maybe. So
that is interesting.
That definitely, I mean, and that could maybe tell you, and again, you've been on it, but that could really tell you about the state of this trade market. Where I don't know if Royce O'Neal is going for a player and 3 second-round picks. You can understand why. Okay, I guess maybe Dorian Finney-Smith for 2 first-round picks
is not as crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't sound as crazy as what it maybe did in the first place. But you've been on it. I think all of this stems from. I mean, if you're going to trade 5 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert, I mean, Royce O'Neal for 2 kind of isn't insane.
Exactly, and now you have the Knicks making some trades. Right. You have Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks. Quentin Grimes, who they've been, I guess, people really want Quentin Grimes. He can shoot now.
Yeah.
He can shoot.
Yeah.
Evan Fournier, who wanted, I think he wanted a bigger role.
Yeah.
Malachi Flynn and 2 second-rounders. So Bojan Bogdanovic and Allen Iverson, a.k.a. Alec Burks, okay, because that's what he looked like last night.
God. They could have made this trade yesterday.
Team. That's what I'm saying.
Come on.
Torching the purple
Do us
team.
a favor, Detroit.
So Bojan and Alec are headed to the Big Apple, and Quentin Grimes, Evan Fournier, Malachi Flynn, and 2 second-round picks are headed to Detroit, which not a bad deal. I know a lot of people like Malachi Flynn. He really just hasn't gotten to a team where he can play a lot. And I don't know what's, Cade Cunningham and these injuries. Maybe he'll get some time there. So there's another move as well.
People like Quentin Grimes a lot, too.
There you go.
So,
There you go. In Oklahoma City, the Hornets are expected to acquire a package centered around Trey Mann and salary, sources said. Mann, a 2021 first-round pick, has upside as a talented young guard, and that ended up. Did that end up going through, right?
Yes.
Or not yet? Okay,
Yes,
so Gordon Hayward, they finally got a veteran presence out there.
Did they trade any other picks for that? Does it say? No, okay. I don't think it's.
I'm on Shams. We can check Woj as well. So Gordon Hayward is headed to Oklahoma City. What? I know we just talked about the Knicks. Yeah. Why are all these trades happening in the West? Why are all these trades happening in the West? Why can't they happen somewhere else? This is not what we need, Chris.
Yeah, no, this isn't great. And I mean, it just feels like the Kings, especially with names like PJ and Royce O'Neal. I don't know what moves they can realistically make to fix this thing. I mean, because clearly after watching last night, and we've just seen it too many times, I just don't have faith that this team can win a playoff series. And if you're going to put them in the play-in,
it's over.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready to publicly say it, but man, I'm nervous about a play-in situation. I'll tell you that.
No, a play-in situation, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Okay, and it gets tight in there.
Sure does.
And if you aren't hitting shots the way we've seen, not just the Kings, any team miss shots, your whole season is over.
Yep.
Your whole season is over.
Do you have any issue too with that loss last night coming at home?
A huge issue.
It's like,
are you asking would it be, is it worse that it was at home?
It's just, it feels like this team doesn't take care of their home court advantage. Like, forget the fact that yes, every team that goes home feels like, oh yeah, we're it's comfortable, sleep in our own beds, all that stuff. But the Sacramento Kings have an actual home court advantage. Like, that crowd is seriously something special. And for them to just waste it when they're good themselves, it feels like a huge missed opportunity. And they're just, you know what it is? They're making it so much harder for themselves than it needs to be.
Yeah.
And that feels like the story of this team is just nothing comes easy. And it is very much like that Giants, the when they were making their championship run, San Francisco Giants baseball torture, Sacramento Kings basketball. I mean, it's basketball hell, man. It is
it's not great.
So
it's embarrassing
to play through. I mean, just as a fan, as a watcher, as an observer, it's incredibly frustrating to watch a team. The Detroit Pistons at home. We're calling it a homecoming game.
That's right.
It just blew. I mean, you blew the homecoming,
and it was just bad. It was just bad.
Because it's like there's no excuse for allowing the Detroit Pistons to score 130 points in a basketball game.
You got cooked.
Come on.
You got cooked. From Woj, this is 36 minutes ago, the Raptors are trading Dennis Schroeder to the Nets for Spencer Dinwiddie.
That's interesting.
Dennis Schroeder
to
the Nets for Spencer Dinwiddie. And two teams, I mean, I guess the Raptors actually know what they're trying to do now. You get a veteran presence in there like Spencer Dinwiddie.
Right.
I don't really know what the Nets are trying to do.
No clue. I mean,
Dennis Schroeder isn't necessarily a spring chicken.
No, from what I understand with that situation, Spencer Dinwiddie just wanted out. He wanted out of that situation, and I guess it was by any means necessary. And Toronto, with them bringing in Emmanuel quickly at the deadline or before the deadline, like a lot of teams should have done, they just don't really have a need for Schroeder anymore. So I think it's a good fit. And then Toronto also made the first move of the day today, bringing in Kelly Olynyk and Ochai Agbaji from Utah. And Utah gets a late first round pick. So you get Kelly Olynyk heading back to the 666.
There you go. All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more trades. Hopefully with the Kings, not too sure if there will be. Oh, I said the K word. Hopefully with the purple team, Stiles and Watkins. We will be right back in Vegas thanks to Jiffy Lube.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo, with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, parties, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. One-day tickets are on sale now, starting at $46, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Hubble Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from and the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life. So don't just sit there. For your biggest refund guaranteed, walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt!
Maida Subaru says yes during the huge President's Day sales event on now. Yes to financing as low as 1.9%. Yes to awesome lease offers. Yes to great trade-in values. Yes to huge selection of new and certified pre-owned Subarus in stock ready to go. Outback, Forester, Crosstrek, Ascent, WRX, and more. All with huge Maida Says Yes savings. The President's Day sales event is on. Stop by Maida Subaru today or visit MaidaSubaru.com and click the Unlock Maida Says Yes savings button to unlock your savings on the card you want today. Whatever you choose, you're going to save big during the President's Day sales event on now at Maida Subaru. Yes to financing as low as 1.9%. Yes to attractive lease offers. Yes to exceptional trade-in values. Yes to great selection. Over 300 new and certified pre-owned Subarus available. The huge President's Day sales event on now at Maida Subaru. MaidaSubaru.com.
Approved premium credit 1.9 financing on new 2024 Outback.
Made a great deal at Maida.
The power's out at our house. Coffee table. But since our family has storm-ready Wi-Fi from Xfinity, we can stream or game in the dark. As I try and fill around for a seat. Here we go. Oh, who moved the couch?
Get storm-ready Wi-Fi only from Xfinity, so you can stay connected for up to 4 hours, even when the power goes out. Restrictions apply. Limited to customers within range of 4G, LTE, cellular signal. Speeds reduced to 30/7 megabits per second. Actual speeds vary. Learn more at xfinity.com/stormready.
Radio Row coverage from Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your road trip headquarters.
We are back, Stiles and Watkins, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. Oil changes, tire rotations, or overall car maintenance, think Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube is the place to take your car for your next road trip. Jiffy Lube, proud sponsor of Stiles and Watkins Radio Row road trip to Las Vegas, joined by Baltimore Ravens safety Marcus Williams, 7 years in the NFL, 5 with New Orleans, 2 now in Baltimore. Marcus, thank you for joining us.
Man, I appreciate you having me on today.
Man, let's start here. We're not going to say you're public enemy number 1. You're not that high off the list, but you did have an interception against the Niners in Week 16. You don't need to go through all the details, but just in that play with Brock Purdy now, you face both teams. So we're going to talk about the Chiefs side and the Niners side. But you guys and what the Ravens did to the Niners, that you ruined so many Christmases. You ruined so many Christmases in Northern California. What happened that night, and what did you see within that Niners offense that just had you guys just ready to rock and roll?
Man, we just did our job. We came in and we stuck to the game plan, and our game plan worked. We had a good D coordinator who made sure that he put that defensive game plan in and made sure it was simple, and we go out there and we were able to fly around and do what we're supposed to do, and it made it fun for us to go out there and have so many interceptions against the 49ers. I mean, it kind of helped them get to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely a little.
I like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you mentioned your D coordinator, Mike McDonald. He's now over in Seattle. How do you feel about how he's going to do over there?
I think he's going to do just fine. I think he did a great job of coaching us up, and in the last 2 years that we did have him, you know, our defense definitely elevated from year 1 to year 2, and I think he's going to go out over there and help them elevate their game just as much. So I'm proud that he's able to go over there and become a head coach, because not a lot of people get the opportunity, and he's going to make the most of it.
He's a young guy too. Do you feel any different way about, you know, being coached by a guy who's younger versus older, or does any of that matter?
No, it doesn't matter, as long as they have the knowledge for the game, as long as they're able to be able to work the room and coach us up in the way that you should be coached, and, you know, not try to belittle somebody and stuff like that. He doesn't have an ego. He's able to talk to you. You're able to give your feedback to him, and he listens. And when a guy's you're able to talk to a guy and they're able to listen, and you're able to put your input in, it makes it easier for everybody else to come together and be a unit all together.
Talking to Marcus Williams, Baltimore Ravens safety. So I know it's a little bit different in the NFL because the player power in the NBA is crazy. But in Sacramento, there's a lot of conversation, not just Sacramento, the Bay Area, about, oh, well, certain free agents don't want to go to Sacramento. Certain free agents don't want to go to the Bay Area. You were in New Orleans, which I know New Orleans is a great time. Now you're in Baltimore. As a player, how much do the cities actually matter, right? We always feel like, we don't see players walking around anyway. Does it really matter where you are, or do you guys just make the best of it no matter what?
I think you make the best of it no matter what, as long as you have a good locker room, as long as you have the good people around you that you're able to, you know, build a team with. I think everything's all right. But with a team that may not have that good unity and good energy in there, it may be tougher for more people, because they may want to go out and reset their minds and go do something now, go eat or something. But if you're in a place that there's nothing to do, it might be tough. But it might be tough. But if you're about ball, you're about ball. It doesn't really matter where you're at.
Yeah, and I mean, Alan mentioned it. You've played both of these two teams. I mean, I'm not saying you got to make headlines or nothing, but just who, in your opinion, was more difficult to try and game plan, or who was more difficult to prepare for, I guess?
I think we prepared equally for both teams. I think we had a good game plan going into each of the games. So I wouldn't say one is more difficult than the other. I think Mike definitely did a good job of having us ready to go, and we put that time in the film room as a defense, as an offense, and we just did what we were supposed to do when we came out to the field. So I wouldn't say any game was, you know, harder to game plan for. We just came out and we just play each and every week. We're gonna hit first.
Yeah, talking to Marcus Williams, Baltimore Ravens safety. There's so much being said about Brock Purdy, and he has a very specific story. But, you know, everybody can be an underdog in certain ways, and let's not forget that what Lamar Jackson did in Louisville and then coming to the league, he was a bit of an underdog. And based on what he did in college, he was drafted pretty low. Now he has naysayers as far as what he's going to be able to do in the playoffs. Can you speak to Lamar as a leader and as a quarterback, and when he's in the locker room and getting you guys ready to go, how you feel like, you know, like we said, there's going to be criticisms for everybody, but you guys feel like, look, we're going to ride with Lamar no matter what?
No matter what. I mean, Lamar is definitely that leader in the locker room. He may not say much to the media or whatnot, but he definitely he makes sure that we're locked in. And when you go in, that's the guy that you want to play for. He's going to be locked in each and every day. He wants to be the best at what he does. He's going to be watching film, and when we go on that film on the field and we're competing against each other, he wants it to be exactly how he wants it to be. And we have a quarterback who's willing and wants to put his game on the line for us to win. It's definitely motivational. So I wouldn't rather have any other quarterback than him. He's just that type of person that you want to go out there and make sure you get the ball back. And when he gets the ball, you already know what time it is. You better have your eyes on him, or he could be past you in a second.
Yeah, and I mean, Lamar is awesome. We've seen him have MVP seasons. He might get another one this year. But, I mean, he's been in the playoffs now a couple different times and just hasn't been able to get over that hump. And in the AFC, y'all have some of the toughest competition. You got Joe Burrow, you got Josh Allen, you got Patrick Mahomes you got to try and get through, and Lamar's definitely in that list of guys you got to get through. But what do you think he has to do to get over that hump? Or is it just, you know, sometimes that stuff is random and it's just got to be your year?
hey, at the end of the day, it's a team sport.
Right.
It's not all on Lamar.
Yeah.
You know, if the defense doesn't give them any points, if we don't let them score any points, then they don't win. So if we don't give up 17 points against the Chiefs, then, you know, they don't win. We could win with 10 points if that's the case. But, you know, Lamar does everything in his power to make sure that we win the game. And if we don't end up on the winning side of it, it's not his fault. It's a collective unit of offense, defense, and special teams. And I think that's the main thing that we preach. It's not all on one person. It doesn't matter what, if he threw for 500 yards and, you know, no touchdowns. They're going to say it's on Lamar Jackson because he's the quarterback.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we gave up 17 points.
Right.
And they couldn't have scored in the second half. It doesn't matter because they still won.
Right. Talking to Marcus Williams, Baltimore Ravens safety. Marcus, I want you to just take us through your thought process because, look, people on this show know I'm a bit of a showboater, okay? And look, okay, well, enough. All right. So basically, I'm just glad that I'm not in the NFL because I'll tell you what, man, if I ever got an interception, I might still be celebrating right now. Can you take us through your thought process when you see a quarterback and you're thinking, I might have a chance at this, as the ball is coming to you and you're thinking, I better not drop this? Take us through that thought process because obviously a quarterback is making throws. Everybody on the offense, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to score a touchdown. And if you're on defense, front line, you're trying to cause fumbles, things like that. But an interception is one of the more unique things to happen in a sport, and it can change the trajectory of a game. Take us through what it's like when you get an interception and just a feeling when you make sure you got that thing and what you want to do next.
No, it's definitely a great feeling to get interceptions. I mean, to take the ball away from the offense, it definitely demoralizes them. And it makes them feel like, dang, he's going to think twice before throwing it again in the same direction. If he does, make him pay again. But, you know, it's exciting, but you still got to lock back in. As soon as you get that, you either score a touchdown or you get tackled or whatever. But after that, then you go back and you lock back in, and that plays over. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
As long as once you win, you can take a deep breath. But before then, the interception could be none. But it's definitely exciting to get a big takeaway.
Yeah.
I mean, they always say DBs are receivers because they couldn't catch. What do you got to say about that, man?
I think it's DBs were once receivers, But I mean, I was a receiver, but I could catch.
Yeah, right. So we know.
At the end of the day, I mean, there's more DBs in the league because it's harder to play. Receiver, there's a lot of receivers, but how many of them are actually going to make it to the NFL?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So playing
That's
DB,
interesting,
you could get to the NFL and you could play, and it doesn't matter. You can play special teams, whatever. But I mean, they can say whatever they want.
Right.
I mean, I got 20 interceptions.
Yeah.
And I'm a DB.
Come on, talk about it. Come on.
There you go. Talking to Marcus Williams, Baltimore Ravens safety. All right, Marcus, before we get you out of here, you face these two teams. Out of all the picks that we've done so far, you are the most qualified to make the pick. Who do you think wins on Sunday?
Neither. I don't want either of them. I hope they both lose. I hope the lights turn off, and I hope they both go home sad too, just like everybody else. But you know, one team's gonna come out with the victory, and I don't care which one it is at the end of the day.
There you go. We had somebody on who does your boy Q Myers, who does a bunch of Raiders radio, and we asked him, "Who do you got winning?" He said Monday. Monday. So that's right. You can take that with you for all your other interviews. Marcus Williams, Baltimore Ravens safety. Marcus, thank you so much. This has been great, man. Yes. And good luck to the rest of your career in Baltimore. Make sure you get, some of the crab. I know they got great food out there, so continue to enjoy yourself, and we'll talk to you soon.
No doubt. Appreciate it.
All righty. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins in Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Group is not a law firm. This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every single day. Imagine what you could do if your business had that kind of reach. It's not a dream. Right now, you can take advantage of Amazon's expansive network to benefit your business. Unlock expert insights and tap into the full potential of Amazon. Simply text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105. Put the power of Amazon to work for you. Text DIGITAL, that's DIGITAL, to 916-766-5105.
Our Stiles and Watkins road trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. For car maintenance from oil changes to tires and brakes, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Now back to more of Stiles and Watkins.
Making our road trip to Radio Row possible, Jiffy Lube, a proud sponsor of Sactown Sports, joined by KJ Wright, former NFL linebacker, Pro Bowl linebacker, current host of our brother-sister station, Seattle Sports. 710 KJ, and KJ is coming in. He's dancing to the music. We're coming in with the vibes. And look, this is everybody else is going to ask the same questions. We got to do that. We got to. But when somebody sits down and says they got something on their mind,
He said spirit.
My spirit. Who are we? Who are we to go ahead and ask you the same stock questions? KJ Wright, thank you for joining us, and the floor is yours.
Listen. When I found out I was coming to a San Francisco station, it hit me. I don't know what hit me, but I don't get goosebumps too often.
Okay.
But when the San Francisco 49ers came to Seattle last year, I saw a football team, and it just reminded me of my era. It reminded me of the 2013 dominating Legion of Boom. And I don't know too many GMs, but I hit up John Lynch, the general manager of you guys. I said, John, I read this to you. I don't want my name drop. Whatever. I said, what's up, John? Congrats on the win last night. It's truly inspiring watching you guys play the way y'all do. Keep it going and good luck all the way. And I just look at the way that John Lynch has handpicked so many dudes on this football team. The way that he went and released his quarterback traded the quarterback in Trey Lance. The way that he made these big time trades, like when you talk about going all in, going all out, using your football expertise, using your general manager expertise and building this team the way you have built it. This is truly inspiring from an athlete that would potentially go into this field, and from an athlete just looking at, you got some dogs, some legends. Like these guys gel so well together on this football team. And so I just look at what John Lynch has done and what he will continue to do. Hands down, one of the best general managers in the game.
That's awesome. I mean, first off, I feel like a lot of 49er fans are not going to be happy hearing that this team reminds you of the 2013 Legion of Boom. They're probably not going to love that. But
they won, though.
They won. They
won a Super Bowl.
They're probably not going to love. But second off, what does remind you of those teams?
Listen, it is you know how when you run out of a tunnel and you walk with that walk, you got that look. You look into the opponent's sideline.
Like, they can't touch us.
We here.
Yeah,
that's how we were.
Yeah,
and I look at everything. I look at how those guys carry themselves. Their energy, like when they make a play, they like, no, we go be here all night, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah,
they walk that walk, they talk that talk, and they believe in themselves. They believe in themselves. They have that confidence on the football field. And for you guys to go and almost get there, I almost feel bad for y'all, but
almost. He said almost.
But I won't be mad because you guys have definitely earned it. The way that John Lynch has built this team, though I love so many guys and respect.
Yeah.
Greenlaw, respect CMC, respect Kittle, Juszczyk, couldn't stand playing y'all back in the day.
Right.
But y'all brought the best out of me. Y'all brought the best out of Bobby, and it was always a fun matchup each and every time we played you guys. And so. Love what y'all bring to the table.
KJ, you kind of already alluded to something that I was going to ask in a roundabout way. The 49ers have a dynamic duo at linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
KJ Wright, Bobby Wagner, same situation.
Yeah.
In your mind, are the 49ers, do they have the best duo linebacker, or is there someone else? I know Baltimore, Patrick Queen.
Right. No, it's not close.
Not close?
It's not close. You just start with Fred. Start with Fred. I watch a guy that's always prepared, a guy that commands the huddle, a guy that I've watched film on Fred. He got this new stance. Watch Fred Warner. He got this little cockback stance, like I'm ready to attack downhill, or I can just simply drop back in coverage and do my thing. And Dre Greenlaw, this man give him his respect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He hitting dudes' helmets. He running sideline to sideline, making plays, and just watching how they feed off of each other. Watch how they both are on the same, just in unisex. That's how Bobby and I were. We was connected together. And I just look at both those guys and see what they bring to the table each and every game day. Hands down, the best duo in the NFL.
Talking to KJ Wright, former NFL Pro Bowl linebacker. And KJ, all right, we know that fan is short for fanatic. Mm-hmm. But we had you on. Obviously, you were with the Seahawks. You were with the Legion of Boom. So I got to ask the question. Sherm is taking some heat for I don't want to say hopping over, but he's doing a lot of Niners talking. I got to get your thoughts. Fair or foul, because he's taking heat from the Seahawks fans. Ooh. Because I saw it. He's going back and forth with them now. They are saying, man, my kid who was just born, they probably don't even think that you were on the Seahawks. What do you think about what's going on, man?
Yeah, I look at every person that has been let go by the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. Myself, Sherm, Jermaine Kearse, the list goes on and on. We all have that moment of bitterness.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it a buck. We all have that moment of bitterness, frustration, anger. And I think everyone had that. But I look at Sherm, obviously time is going on. He doesn't hate the Seattle Seahawks. Right. He's not mad at the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. Sherm is the type of guy, he's going to call a spade. He's going to call it how he sees it. He's going to speak his truth. But you saw how, I don't know if you saw it, but how Marshawn
he came up to him.
You saw that? And even on my show, G. Scott like, hey, man, what's up with Sherm, man? Like, I was like, I don't know. I think it's all love between him and the Seahawks.
Yeah.
But I remember how that exit happened. Mm-hmm. Sherm tore his Achilles.
Right.
Sherm was, they just called him up after he tore his Achilles and let him go.
Yeah.
That was hard for Sherm. That was hard for my guy. But I don't think there's any vendetta between Seahawks and Oregon. He come to practice. He coach up Rick Woolen. He coach up Witherspoon.
Okay.
Yeah, he's around.
See, that's the stuff we don't know. We just see he's
look, Sherm comes around often.
And he said, look, the Niners are relevant right now. That's why I'm talking about the Niners, okay? or more relevant, right? Yeah. They're in the Super Bowl, so I'm going to talk about the Niners. We know we got to get you out of here because you're doing your own thing. You're doing great work for our brother, sister station, Seattle Sports 710. Go check him out, KJ Wright, if you haven't already. But we got to get your pick. Who you got winning this thing?
Well, first of all, check out KJ All Day podcast, too. Make sure you check that out.
Right. Get that going.
I'll do film study on you guys. But, man, I'm looking up right here, and I see number 15. He's screaming. He's yelling.
Cut his mic already. Come on, KJ. I got love for you. Now.
I got love for y'all. Y'all have the better team. But the it factor is him and it's everybody else. I'm sorry.
True.
And so we'll see. I won't be mad either way, but Patty Mahomes, it's hard for me to go against him.
Yep.
There you go, KJ Wright. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll definitely have and enjoy the rest of your time in Vegas.
Y'all too, man. Thank you.
All righty, got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins in Vegas, thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs. It's Super Bowl 58, live from Las Vegas, Sunday, February 11th on Sactown Sports.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought him. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For sore feet, aching back, knee, or hip pain, come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, or Vacaville.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
RC Willey has everything for your home, including furniture, mattresses, appliances, electronics, and flooring. With our vast selection, it's easy to find items that fit your style and your budget. We also offer a variety of finance options, including 0 down and 0 interest for 18 months. Whether you're looking to establish new credit or ready to make your space more cozy, we can help. With our flexible finance options, you can easily update your home one piece or one room at a time. Plus, we have a low price guarantee. Let us help you make your home your way at RC Willey.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo, with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. One-day tickets are on sale now, starting at $46, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by Hubble Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Nada Subaru says yes during the huge President's Day sales event on now. Yes to financing as low as 1.9%. Yes to awesome lease offers. Yes to great trade-in values. Yes to huge selection of new and certified pre-owned Subarus in stock ready to go. Outback, Forester, Crosstrek, Ascent, WRX, and more. All with huge Nada Says Yes savings. The President's Day sales event is on. Stop by Nada Subaru today or visit NadaSubaru.com and click the Unlock Nada Says Yes savings button to unlock your savings on the card you want today. Whatever you choose, you're going to save big during the President's Day sales event on now at Nada Subaru. Yes to financing as low as 1.9%. Yes to attractive lease offers. Yes to exceptional trade-in values. Yes to great selection. Over 300 new and certified pre-owned Subarus available. The huge President's Day sales event on now at Nada Subaru. NadaSubaru.com.
Approved premium credit 1.9 financing on 2024 outbound.
Made a great deal at Meda.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Get in on the action at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. With over 80 table games, the hottest slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room, you'll enjoy a casino experience on a whole new level. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tune in to Sactown Sports broadcast of the big game this Sunday afternoon between San Francisco and Kansas City. Sponsored by Xfinity. Stream your favorite live sports on the next generation Xfinity 10G network.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
I can't hear it. We are here with Howard Balzer, Sirius XM NFL radio and NFL writer for Phoenix with the Cardinals. Howard, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure being with you guys. How you doing?
We are good. We are good because we are in Vegas thanks to Jiffy Lube. Oil changes, tire rotations, or overall car maintenance, think Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube is the place to take your car for your next road trip. Jiffy Lube, proud sponsor of Stiles Watkins Radio Row road trip to Las Vegas. Howard, let's start here. We're talking a little bit during the break, and you have a vote for the NFL Hall of Fame, which is going to be announced tonight.
Yes.
Right? How do you feel as far as just that responsibility? I'm a big baseball guy, and in baseball they have certain issues where guys give up their votes or they vote for Mickey Mouse. What's the type of responsibility you feel when you're voting in the Hall of Fame?
Tremendous responsibility. And I think I speak for all of the 50 selectors because we all realize how life-changing this is for those who get elected. And it is, though, one of the hardest things that I do throughout of any year. When you get to that final 15, and then everyone gets presented. We have an 8 or a 9 hour meeting where each one is presented. Then there's discussion and all those things. And after every discussion, you're going, oh, he's going to get in. Oh, he's going to get in. By the time it's over, you're saying, I wish we could put all 15 in.
Right.
And then when you vote, and there's a vote from 15 to 10 first, you're going, oh my goodness, how do I pick this? And then you vote your 10, then they announce it, a little more discussion, then you vote for 5. And that's the real. Man, that's the one where you're going, I mean, these are the 5. Now, not everybody gets their 5 usually, obviously. We don't vote as a unit, but you realize the impact that this has. And the one thing I do always say, however, is that it always seems after the election, then you hear the bar, oh, how could they not put this guy in? How could they not put this guy in? And I always say you could pick any 5, a combination of any 5, and it would be a great class. And I think people underestimate how hard it is just to get to the 15.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty amazing, but totally humbled by it. It's incredible. I've been doing it. It's hard to believe for 20 years.
Yeah.
And hopefully many more. We'll see. But yeah, it is tremendous. We know the impact it has, and it's life-changing for these guys who are going to be announced tonight as Hall of Famers.
I guess you can only speak for yourself, but I mean, of course, whenever Hall of Fame conversations come up, more specifically when it comes to snubbings, it's, oh, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Do you actually take that kind of thing into effect, or is that kind of a, you might not, but another voter might?
Yeah, exactly. And I hate the word snub.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like kind of what I was alluding to. It's almost like people think we're voting against somebody.
Yes.
No, you're not voting against anybody. You're just voting for someone. You're trying to pick the ones that you believe are the most deserving. But you do take into account sometimes, and I know I do a little bit, when somebody's been waiting for a long time.
Okay.
And whether it's many years as a finalist, many years as eligibility, and then they weren't a finalist right away, and now they've been a finalist several times. And full disclosure, I am the representative for the Rams, and I have presented Torrey Holt now for 5 years. And so certainly, from my mind, I believe he's deserving.
Yeah.
And so, but everybody's deserving. And that's one of the interesting things, especially when you have 3 receivers in the final 15 or 3 pass rushers, where there was one year where there was 4 offensive linemen several years ago, and then none got in.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden one got in the next year. That opened the door. Then there was another one the next, and boom, you got all 4 in. And so for wide receivers last year, these same guys, Reggie Wayne and Andre Johnson, along with Holt, were finalists last year. And none of them got in. So now they're all back. And that's when one doesn't get in, that's keeping some other guys like Steve Smith Jr. or Anquan Bolden, Hines Ward, who have been semifinalists a bunch of times. That kind of keeps them from getting into the 15.
Yeah.
So there's all those little nuances to it that I think probably a lot of times people don't think about.
Yeah.
Talking to Howard Balzer, Sirius XM NFL radio and NFL writer for the Cardinals, hosting the NFL Hall of Fame show on Sirius, because we will know who's in tonight, and the show is at 8 p.m.
Yeah, the show starts at 8 tonight.
Pacific.
There's
yes.
a weekly Hall of Fame show I do with Joe Harrigan, who works for the Hall of Fame, and that's on Sirius each week. This one is a special one tonight. I'm not with Joe. I'm with Alex Marvez, and we will be on start at 8 after. It's interesting, though, the class will have been announced, but they taped the show.
Oh, wow.
Now, I believe, though, I think it starts at 6 p.m. On Pacific time, I believe. But I get confused sometimes with well, they're taping it, and they're doing this and all that. But when we come on, everyone will pretty much know who is in. And then after they do a little press conference with other media there, we get the guys on immediately, which is always kind of it's just incredible to talk to these guys and all the emotion they have, even though they have known for a few weeks.
Now, obviously, we're not asking. We would never ask you to say who you voted for, but just for the Niner fans out there, when you saw Patrick Willis's name pop up and saw that he was going to be up, what were your first thoughts?
One of the, I think the only thing that's kept him out to this point is the fact that his career was cut short. He didn't have that long career, and sometimes when you're being compared with guys, selectors look at, okay, well, he had not eight or nine great years, but then he retired, and somebody else might have had 10, 11, 12 years. And so that comes into the whole process. I mean, he had a Hall of Fame career when he played. And I think it's only a matter of time for him to get in. I know that doesn't help guys a lot of times when they're wondering when it's going to happen. And I'm sure family members, this will be your year. And they're all going, well, I don't know. How do you know? I mean, you don't really know. But I'm confident in saying he will be a Hall of Famer at some point because he's tremendously deserving and obviously a great player.
Yeah. We mentioned that you write about the Cardinals as well, and we got to ask you about Kyler Murray. It's a guy that we ask about all the time, and talking about sometimes we're like, the Raiders, is that going to be a guy that they should get? What do you think is the future for Kyler in Arizona? He obviously just signed that contract extension last offseason. Do you see him staying in Arizona as they try and rebuild that, or is he a potential a quarterback that could be moved on to another team?
I certainly believe that he is going to be the quarterback this coming season.
Okay.
And what he went through last year, coming back from the rehab, learning a new offense and not being able to get on the field until October with that. And then he played pretty good football when he finally got in there with not, great talent around him. But I know the coaching staff and everyone in the organization loved the way he attacked it. And I think just the fact that he was a guy that wasn't at the off-season program sometimes in past years. This year he was there. He was rehabbing there at the facility. He was there in the meetings. He was at that. And I think it changed him a little bit, seeing how important it was to be around the team. And I know how much respect teammates have for him.
Yeah.
So he does have the big contract, yes. But I think certainly this coming season will be a real true evaluation of what he does in an off season where he's not rehabbing an injury.
Yeah.
And now we'll have his second year in this offense and really be able to fine tune, and they can all figure out what he does best, what he likes, and all those things. And then they've got to get better talent around him. They got a lot of draft picks. They've got a lot of extra draft picks. And so it'll be very interesting to see how they build continually around him and whether they can show improvement next year. And I think that'll tell the tale. I mean, you never know after next year what might happen, but I think there's certainly going to be a big evaluation year next year for him and the entire team and the offense.
Howard, before we get you out of here, who do you got Sunday in the big game?
I've said since day one. In fact, I'm a senior editor of Lindy's Pro Football Preview magazine, which I've done for over 30 years. And I don't think I've ever got the Super Bowl winner right. I pick it in May. Of course, it's way back in May when the magazine goes to the printer. And I picked the 49ers to win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
I have thought all along they are the best team in the NFL. And certainly that was, I don't know if tarnish is the right word, but it was affected a little bit with the game against the Ravens.
Yeah.
But, hey, here's the great Ravens. Oh, they're the best, and they're not even here.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think they are the better team. So I'm sticking with them. I'm picking them. But, hey, would it surprise anybody if the Chiefs won again?
Right.
No, you can't say you'd be surprised by that because, I mean, they are who they are.
Yeah.
But this 49ers team, I think this is their year. And finally, Kyle Shanahan can get that kind of whatever you want to call it off his back with losing games in the fourth quarter of Super Bowls.
There you go.
As an offensive coordinator and as a head coach.
There you go. Howard Balzer, Sirius XM NFL radio rights for the Cardinals, hosting the NFL Hall of Fame show on Sirius tonight. Maybe Patrick Willis will get in. Thank you so much, Howard, for your time. Enjoy the rest of your time in Vegas.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
10 seconds for legal station ID.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports.
Awesome.
We are now joined by my guy, fellow Temple Owl, Zach Gelb, CBS Sports
we got
Radio.
Temple legends here. There's the Tony Bruno. You want to talk about Temple
That's
royalty?
right. That's right. That's right. Host
Great
of,
Tony Bruno.
Yeah, the Zach Gelb Show on CBS Sports Radio. Zach, saw you walking by yesterday. I said, I got to get my guy on the show. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I was telling Jay that I woke up this morning and I said, oh, my God, I forgot to go in Sacramento. My mind is just racing in 1,000 directions. I thought the conversation that we had yesterday was 2 days ago, and I was I felt like the biggest jerk, and then I'm walking by and I go, 11 o'clock today. So
yes.
I felt good.
Yeah. Well, we were talking earlier, and Chris, we opened the show, and I said, it's a beautiful Thursday, and I think there was a question mark.
I know what you guys did last night.
No. We kept it a little chill. I mean, Jay's hitting us up 10 o'clock. Hey, we getting more guys on, so we're keeping it low key. We're keeping it low key.
I could hang with Jay.
There you go. Yes. There you go. Who have you had? We saw you had a bunch of players on your show yesterday. Just people we didn't even know were here. You're well connected. I saw Justin Jefferson. Little Dicky dropping news about his show and things like that. Out of who you had on yesterday, what was, I guess, the most surprising thing that you heard?
I really liked and enjoyed the interview with Little Dicky.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we only did one non-sports interview this weekend. He's a very big sports fan. Like, I think he knows the Eagles better than most, and he knows the Sixers better than most. So that was pretty damn cool. Justin Jefferson, I had a chance to interview him the day after he got drafted, and he said on my show, all the teams that passed on me and from a wide receiver standpoint are going to pay. So it's cool when he comes up to the show and he's just like, what did I tell you a few years ago?
Right.
So that's pretty neat. So I would say those are two of the highlights so far. And then you never know, like, earlier in the week, Kendrick Bourne was on with us, and he was just a great interview and connected, obviously, to the 49ers.
How do you, approach those like when you're having Justin Jefferson on, you're having Little Dicky on? I think I saw you had Trevor Lawrence on Monday. Like, are you hoping do you approach those hoping to get something out of it, or is it kind of like when you're framing your questions, are you trying to get some? Do you have a goal going into the interview, or do you just kind of let it play out organically?
So I don't really look at it as interviews, because I think when you look at it as like an interview, it's like, button up, like blah blah.
Question.
I just have I try to build relationships with people, and I have conversations. And for example, I've known Justin Jefferson a little bit.
Yeah.
I told him straight up, I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to be your quarterback next year. I think it's going to be Russell Wilson. That's not me saying I think that's the right decision. I'm just saying what's going to happen. And I think we just have more conversations. Just organically you get that. Like, there's sometimes you go into an interview and you go, all right, there's going to be an uncomfortable topic that the guest may not like. It happened with me over the summer with Deebo Samuel.
That's right.
Where I had to ask him about his comments about the Eagles. And he hung up the phone on me like, whatever. I have a job to do. People sometimes will get offended. At the end of the day, I'm fair, and I ask questions that the listening audience wants to hear asked. And I don't do my show to serve the guests. I don't do my show to serve even the callers or my producer or my bosses. I do it for the listening audience, and I try to ask things that people want to hear answers to.
Talking to Zach Gelb, host of the Zach Gelb Show, CBS Sports Radio. Zach, our first time here at Radio Row, and I think part of that is the proximity of San Francisco with the Niners being in it to Las Vegas. I think also part of it is it being Vegas. But on top of that, the changing landscape of media, right? And so many credentials being given out this year, record number. You're in a position to where I guess all three of us, the term old media gets brought up.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that and how people like us can continue to evolve, and where do you see the future of radio going?
I think it's bullcrap. I was told when I first got into it that radio was dying.
Yes.
I still have a job. You guys still have a job. I think a lot of people would like to have our jobs as well. I don't say that in an arrogant way, but you just have to transform with the times. Yes, we do a radio show. We also stream on YouTube. We put out video content. People want to talk about sports. People want to listen to sports talk, and podcasts are a great way to consume it. The radio is a great way to consume it. We've had times where we've had people on and they've been the national story across every network that day. So like things like that happen. It clearly shows there's still success, but when you do something that's in such a public setting, people try to tear it down and tell you this company has a problem, or this person has a problem, or this format has a problem. Everyone thinks they have the answer, and they're like the brainiacs. We're just jumping on the hamster wheel, and we're just trying to keep it spinning. And I think it's been spinning well enough. But yeah, there are some things that even when the mics go off, you got to keep on pumping out social media content.
Yeah. And I mean, you brought up that Debo interview during the summer. First off, I just want to say I thought you handled that great. I thought it was an incredibly awkward situation. You have the PR person come on and say,
I thought it was hilarious.
We're ready to go. And it's like, we were already going.
Yeah.
I mean, in a situation like that, I mean, can anything prepare you for that as a radio person? Or are you just kind of.
I'll be honest. It was great that he hung up the phone.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I was in the beginning. There was more than just a 2 minute. That's the difference. We just talked about the difference in the industry. You see a 2-minute social media clip, someone doesn't listen to the interview.
Yeah.
Like someone yesterday said, oh, wow, you put Justin Jefferson in an uncomfortable spot. I'm like, did you see the way he came on the show? Oh, when the cameras weren't rolling, he sat for an extra 5 minutes and talked to us after the show. So you just sometimes see things in social media, it gets taken out of context. But, you know, I had some former NFL players push back, blah, blah, blah. And then Channing Crowder, he reached out to me. I do a weekly on the show. He goes, I listened to the whole interview. He goes, he didn't want to be there from the start.
Right.
So if someone doesn't want to be there, I don't think you just keep them to be there. I had a few questions I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he hung up the phone.
It was a fair question, too.
You know, it's not the first time I've been hung up on. I bet you it won't be the last time. That one, though, I just thought it was a joke. And I just say what I say. And that's why afterwards, I think most people will be like, all right, we'll go back to break. I'm like, I'm not going to break right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought that was a joke. I thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Talking to Zach Gelb, Zach Gelb Show on CBS Sports Radio. Let's have you put on your analyst hat for a bit with this Niners-Chiefs matchup. What do you see in? We can go into the pick if you want, but what are your initial thoughts?
I think I've talked to one person this week on the air that has taken the San Francisco 49ers to win the game. It's been Kansas City, and everyone words it this way. The 49ers look like they're the better team. But you can't bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Everyone has said.
I'm betting against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers because it's not anything anti-Chiefs. I love Steve Spagnuolo. The defense is phenomenal. Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. But when everyone tells you we just saw this 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Ravens. Chiefs end up winning.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Niners are going to edge it out at the end. I really do.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Can you be, and Chris and I have talked about it on the show, can you be the betting favorite, but also an underdog?
I've said it.
It's crazy.
So I have a lot of people that listen that are great gamblers, if that's even a term, right? But they claim to be gamblers.
Or they think they are.
Or they at least understand the lingo and they have all the analytics and the information. And they're like, how can you say they're the underdog? You know, this money's going on this. But everyone this week that I've talked to, besides one person, once again, has taken the Kansas City Chiefs to win the game. I don't care if it's a 2.5-point favorite in favor of 49ers, whatever lines up to. They're the underdog to me in this game. People expect Mahomes to win. I really have just expectations it's going to be a great game, and I'll flip the coin, and it will land on the Niners for me.
Yeah?
I mean, do you feel like either – I'm trying to think how I want to phrase this. What team do you think's best thing is the best?
Okay, so I would say the strength of the Kansas City Chiefs is that regardless of what the score is, even if they're down, they have 15.
Yeah.
And as we saw a few years ago, 10 was 7.5 to play. As long as 15 is on the field and can throw the football and can move, he always has a chance. So it's that fear factor and the mental component that you have with Kansas City. In terms of the Niners, there's so many stars.
Yeah.
To me, I want to say it's McCaffrey. I do believe McCaffrey is their most valuable, but I think Debo or Kittle, one of them are just, if not both, are going to pop off. And I'll say that again for the 49ers fans.
Oh, come on. We're almost.
Debo and Kittle.
Yeah.
One of them are going to pop off. I have no problem if it's Debo Samuel. I did an anytime touchdown bet a week ago. Parlay. It wasn't Debo. It was Kittle and Kelsey at plus 411. I'm rooting for the tight ends.
There you go.
Tight end Super Bowl Sunday.
There you go. Zach Gelb. Zach Gelb show on CBS Sports Radio.
Why did you guys not bring the cowbells out here? At Sacramento.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
No, you should have brought them out here. Annoyed everybody.
Yeah, we're moving.
It's not good times in Sacramento.
Yeah.
They just lost to the Pistons yesterday.
It's a regular season game. Who cares? I like Mike Brown. I love De'Aaron Fox.
of course.
And also, I love what the Kings fans did to Bob Myers a year ago in the postseason.
Yeah.
Man, Bob, come on. You're a legendary executive. Get your ass in a luxury box.
There
all right?
you go. There you go. Zach Gelb, thank you again. Look, T for Temple U, man, as we've been talking about. The Owls, I believe, have lost, and we're a basketball school. They've lost 7 straight.
You're breaking up.
Yeah,
right?
no, 7 straight.
Connection.
Okay, today they got Memphis, who are about 1-5.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to maybe to put some faith in Temple. Can we get it done tonight?
This is the portion of the show that nobody cares about.
No, well, I care about it.
Athletics.
I care about it. I care about it. All right, well, maybe we'll talk about Maxie's Pizza or something.
I like Adam Fisher. Yeah, Maxie Pizza. What are they charging now? $8 a slice?
Asking him about his favorite cheesesteak spot?
Give me a well-done buffalo chicken slice.
There we
Maxie's
go.
Pizza with a beer.
Uh-huh.
Favorite cheesesteak spot is Mama's in Bala Cynwyd.
Okay.
I like D'Alessandro's. There's a new place in Jersey, South Jersey, called Lilo's, which is delicious.
Okay, okay, Zach.
And make
Gelb.
sure it's on an Amoroso roll, all right?
There you go. Thank you so much, man. And be sure to catch Zach on CBS Sports Radio weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Thank you again, man.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Be well.
All righty. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins in Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube.
Catch Stiles and Watkins live from Radio Row as they bring you the biggest guests in the NFL. Sactown Sports Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. When it's time for a road trip, prepare with a visit to Jiffy Lube for all your automotive maintenance needs, from oil changes to tire rotations and more. Jiffy Lube is your road trip headquarters.
Get the best local coverage of the big game with Stiles and Watkins.
Wednesday through Friday from 10 to 2 on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever. Ooma. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Thanks again to Zach Gelb. And yeah, I got a little pep in my step as Stephen A. Smith just say what's up to me. Fly purple suit.
It is
all right.
very purple suit.
It is the most purple suit I think I have ever seen, joined by Jennifer Lee Chan of NBC Sports Bay Area. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course. How are you enjoying Vegas? We talked to Laura Britt yesterday. She said it was her first time in Vegas. Not your first time.
Crazy, right? Yeah, no, insane. It's not my first
time. Okay. Will it be your last time is the better question.
8 days in Vegas is 7 too long.
That's a long time.
It's a really long time. I was kind of mentally prepared for Monday through Friday for Radio Row, and then the 49ers ended up playing well enough to get into the game, and I was like, yay, but oh.
Yeah. Take us through the emotions. I was in the building as well. That Lions game, but real quick though, because I did feel like the Lions were one score away from the door totally being closed. I think everybody was, it's always silent in the media room, but I think everybody felt, okay, this isn't great. It's probably over, but it's not done yet. And then the Lions could not, thanks to Dan Gamble, really shut the door there. Is that how you felt too?
Yeah. Once that 4th down stop happened,
yes.
Matt and I looked at each other, Matt Mayoka, my colleague, and I looked at each other like, this could be huge.
Yeah.
And then it was the face mask catch, and then it was like, then it was over.
Yeah.
I mean, that 4th down stop was the turning point. And it's what's crazy about this Kyle Shanahan team is that sometimes the offense saves them in games, and then sometimes it's the defense saving them. And that time it was the defense just flipping the script, really.
Yeah. What stuck out to you most about Brock in that comeback, specifically in that second half?
Just his poise. I mean, that's what the entire roster talks about, how it doesn't matter what has happened in the past, he still is ready to be aggressive, throw across the middle, thread the needle. I mean, he does not lose his nerve at all. And I remember watching Colin Kaepernick when he threw 4 picks against Arizona. It really was the game that broke him. And after that game, he had some injuries, but he was never the same.
Yeah.
He didn't trust his receivers. I feel like he waited till they were in the spot before he tried to rifle the ball to them. But Brock Purdy's totally different. He makes a mistake, he resets, and it's like it didn't happen. He's still okay throwing across the middle in between 3 defenders, whatever it is. He knows his confidence is still there,
right?
Which is, I think that's what happened to Colin in that game. He just lost his mojo.
Yeah.
And Brock Purdy, even after that Baltimore game, when they lost to the Ravens, and honestly, I thought, holy cow, this could be really detrimental.
How can you not be down after that?
Right. For his growth, just his mental state, but he came back, bounced back, and he was solid.
Yeah, talking to Jennifer Lee Chan, beat writer for the 49ers, NBC Sports, Bay Area. Yeah, I mean, what Brock was able to in that Lions game, I think we saw Cam walking around. I don't know if you saw the game changer game manager's shirt as well. Going to oh yes, well, I had to take a picture.
I feel like you
I'm
can just see the hat. If you look up in the sky,
right? Just
see the hat.
It's like the bat signal. You know where Cam is. Talk about. It's a very unique situation, and it might sound crazy, but there's basically the national narrative, and then there's the local narrative. Jed York, he goes on to extend Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch earlier this season for really no reason. He did not need to. And if they don't get it done, I don't think locally they would be on the hot seat because the Niners are always in the mix. But what could it do for the national narrative, whether people in the Niners building care or not?
I mean, just winning the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it changes a lot.
Or losing. Losing.
I mean, losing, I think, would be, to Kyle Shanahan, such a good coach. I mean, he's one of the best ones that I've covered, and he's as honest as he can be. He is honest with his players, which I know they appreciate.
Right.
But for him to not be able to win the big game, I mean, that's tough.
Yeah.
We've talked about it earlier in the playoffs. If they lost the divisional game, I think the season would have been deemed a total disappointment.
Yeah.
If they lost,
disaster, maybe.
Right. Even though they made it to the playoffs and got the first round bye.
Yeah.
I think if they had lost that divisional round, it still would have been a complete disappointment of a season. Same thing in the NFC Championship game if they didn't get over the hump to get to the Super Bowl.
Right.
But now Kyle Shanahan honestly has to win the big game to kind of cement. I know he doesn't want to talk about legacy, but really to prove that he is. It's kind of sad that that's how the NFL
goes. No, it's
but
how
it
goes.
is, right?
Yeah.
He's such a good coach, but if he doesn't win that big game, it's just one game.
Yeah.
But really, it's the biggest one.
And let's just be honest. When you look at the Niners and that roster, right, they've had some of the best odds to win the Super Bowl the last 2 or 3 years. And the NFC, no disrespect, the NFC was a little down.
Right.
If you look at the quarterbacks that were left in the NFL playoffs on the NFC side, if you don't do it now, and the Chiefs, this is probably the worst the Chiefs are going to be. We know they have an elite defense. They're win or lose, they're going to get maybe a couple more wide receivers during this offseason and another backup running back. So if you don't get, and I've been picking against Mahomes this whole time, Not because I don't believe in him, just because I just feel like Josh Allen, if you don't do it now, I don't know when you will. Lamar Jackson, if you don't do it now, I don't know when you will. And I've been wrong. I've been wrong the whole time.
This Chiefs team has been really incredible because I think they were all, I mean, for the most part, counted out, right? At the beginning of the season. And they've kind of clawed and scraped and climbed their way back into the mix. Now they're in the big game.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked about how the Niners have fought through adversity, but the Chiefs has done the same thing. So, I mean, they're both coming into this game having faced a ton of adversity. I mean, which sets it up to be a really good matchup.
Right.
Both sides.
Do you feel like, and maybe, I mean, the easy answer, I guess, is they're here. So, yes. But do you feel like these are the two best teams?
I thought it was going to be the Baltimore Ravens, to be honest, against.
Are you happy that it's the Chiefs?
I mean, I think it sets up better for the 49ers defense. I mean, it's facing a mobile quarterback like Lamar Jackson. But then, you look at it, it's a younger team. It's a team that hasn't been there before.
Right.
So how does that affect the mentality of players going in? When you look at the Chiefs, even though they didn't have as good of a record, but they've been there before.
Yeah.
I mean, the veterans in the locker room make a huge difference. I mean, I think that's why Kyle Shanahan was finally able to get those come from behind wins, because the veterans in the locker room.
Yeah.
I mean, this week I talked to all the guys that were in the Super Bowl before: Fred Warner, George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk, Nick Bosa. And they all thought that 2019 year, like, oh, this is how it always is.
Right.
And it doesn't happen that easily. And then the last 3 years they went through what they went through. And now I think the focus is entirely different going into this Super Bowl than it was in 2019. Not that they necessarily took it for granted, but I think it's a different approach when you think, oh, this is how it always is.
Yeah. Right.
And now they really understand.
You have an appreciation
how hard,
for it.
Yes, absolutely. And the Chiefs are there too. So, I mean, it may make the Chiefs a tougher opponent.
Yeah.
Might have made the Baltimore Ravens an easier opponent because they were kind of coasting in. It's hard to say.
Yeah, talking to Jennifer Lee Chan, 49ers beat writer, NBC Sports Bay Area. Jennifer, before we get you out of here, we got to get your pick. And by the way, Laura, Laura, she did pick.
She got spicy.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let you know that right now. You can pick who you want, but if you want to, maybe get back in the good graces here.
See, all right, I'm going to tell you, we're not supposed to bet on football.
Nope.
But during training camp, when we were here for joint practices, I just put $20 on the San Francisco 49ers to win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go with that.
There you go.
There you go.
You have the Niners
put your money
for
where your
Jennifer
mouth
Lee
is.
Chan, 49ers beat writer. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Enjoy the rest of your time in Vegas. Maybe we'll catch you out tonight, something like that. We can hang out and enjoy us NorCal people.
Yes.
We got to stick together here. There's a lot of people here.
Oh my God, it's insane.
So many people.
Insane. And like Thursday is like the peak of Radio Row Day. And
It's feeling like it.
Yeah. Chaos. My head's spinning. I'm like, who's over there? Who's over there?
Exactly. Jennifer, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me on.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins in Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
The 49ers earned the NFC's top seed.
On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite!
Join all of our shows. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles, and Watkins. And the Drive Guys as they follow their quest for a 6th Super Bowl title.
Pressured right away by Young and sacked by Eric Armstead.
Sactown Sports is your home for San Francisco 49ers football.
San Francisco!
The presidential primary election is March 5th. All registered voters will receive their party-specific ballot in the mail. Check to make sure you're registered correctly at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
When Cynthia came to TurboTax, she just launched her new side gig, a true crime podcast.
I'm a first-rate detective with a golden voice.
As her TurboTax expert, I made her second income count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and her maximum refund.
What did she do with that refund? Find out next week.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Get your retirement savings to play ball with your retirement plan. Call Cap Trust today at 916-924-7527 or log on to captrust.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Book your free T-check and free exam at Revive Men's Health Sacramento. Now also offering affordable, cutting-edge weight loss medications. Call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
Radio Row coverage from Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your road trip headquarters.
We are back. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports. Thank you again to Jennifer Lee Chan, beat writer for the Niners. Oil changes, tire rotations, or overall car maintenance, think Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube is the place to take your car for your next road trip. Jiffy Lube, proud sponsor of Stiles Watkins Radio Row road trip to Las Vegas. We were joined by former NFL QB, former legendary NFL QB, Eric Kramer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys, man. This is great.
Yeah, let's just start here. You know, we have we can see your book. It's right here in the camera, The Ultimate Comeback. Let's talk about the book a little bit. And if somebody were to pick it up and read the back of it or the first couple pages, what would pull you in and what message you were trying to get across?
Well, this book encompasses a lot of things, but I was one that played with depression at different times of my life.
Right.
And then, but there's also quite a bit in there about, you know, I was raised by a couple of parents that were imperfect themselves, you know, and as we all are, and kind of how that kind of grew over time. And then eventually had a series of tragedies that came outside of football, that I lost a son. He had been battling addiction, was drug-free for quite a while, then relapsed. And this is back in 2011. At that same time, my mom was dealing with uterine cancer, which she then passed away about 8 months after Griffin did. And around the time she passed away, my dad had some untreated acid reflux that then turned into esophageal cancer.
Wow.
So that was about a 3-year of his own steady decline. And yeah, you meant roller coaster. There wasn't much up to that roller coaster. Right. It was a steep descent. And so that led to me making an attempt on my life. And fortunately, I'm still here and was not successful in that. And then so it's been a long recovery, but at the same time, I'm very happy to be here and headed in the right direction in a lot of areas.
No, I mean, I think that's awesome that you're writing about it because, I mean, we hear it all the time, but I feel like it's not many people practice it, but people say it. These guys are humans. They are real humans who you literally don't know what they're dealing with outside of the game of whether it's football, basketball, baseball. It really doesn't matter. Even TV personalities,
Correct.
You know, anybody who's in the public light and gets that kind of shame. I mean, you just don't know what they're going through. So I think it's awesome that you're speaking about that and just spreading that message. That's awesome.
Yeah, I get a lot of satisfaction out of people that have known me forever.
Yeah.
That go, wow, I didn't know this.
Yeah, right.
Or people that have never met me at all and said, you know, hey, I dealt with parents similarly.
Yeah.
Or I dealt with a son who's got addiction issues myself.
And those people feel alone, I'm sure.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And so to be able to touch people through a book is awesome. And then kind of transitioning once the Super Bowl's over to updating the website, I've got erickramer12.com, and I've done this once, but I'd like to do it more often in terms of speaking.
Yeah.
And speaking about the book and just life in general. And so, yeah, we're going to upgrade that. It's not really ready for the website's there, but what's going to be on it in regards to what I just mentioned isn't there, but it will be probably within 2 to 4 weeks after the Super Bowl.
That's awesome.
Talking to Eric Kramer, legendary NFL QB, about his book, The Ultimate Comeback. You know, I'm just sitting here, Eric, thinking about when you played and even now.
Yeah.
Can you even fathom these athletes? And we know how much money they make. We get all that. But can you even fathom going through everything that you go through as an athlete and as a person, but specifically in the public eye? With social media now, these people have direct access to you, whether it's their stupid fantasy league, whatever it is, and they're just telling you all different types of words that we can't say on FCC airwaves. Can you even fathom how ridiculous that is for some of these guys these days?
Well, it's okay. So the human condition hasn't changed, right? And so people still going through what they go through.
Of course.
It's just that other people now, through social media, as you mentioned, think they're in some way capable of analyzing you or your play, what they see your uniform do.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with what you are or who you are. And so, it would, to me, be a big added layer of things to deal with.
Yeah.
And, just in terms of there's a mental health program that hasn't started just yet. We're going to try to start as an after-school program last August. So it'll be, not last August, it'll be in the future. But the inspiration I got from it was a friend of mine that I played college football with and kicked a while in the NFL with the 49ers, Mike Hofer. He lives here locally and was going through some issues of his own. So we're the same age. And this is several years ago. And I got the idea because the NFL is in support of these programs, or at least the access to care for its own athletes, that a mental health program that deals with kids and families. And so, I got that I got that inspiration driving here on more than one occasion to check in on Mike and just kind of hang out. And this is something Mike never dealt with before in his life. And I'm 59. So this is probably when he's 54, 53.
Yeah.
And so I thought, why are we waiting till the 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s even? Why not deal it with kids that are 9, 10, 11?
Yeah.
And then by the time they graduate high school, so at 9, 10, 11, who you'd look at as someone to look up to, they're still your parents.
Right.
And they're could be a coach or maybe someone at least maturity-wise a couple years older. Age doesn't mean a thing.
Right.
I mean, the number of age doesn't mean a thing.
Right. Yeah.
So you want to look at somebody and say, hey, I'd like to have you in my home team, so to speak.
Right.
Well, how do you approach that person when you're 9, 10 years old? So that's what this program is. We'll act these things out. And so, then as kids get older, right, then there's the bullying that goes on, whether it's face-to-face or
cyberbullying,
because the best part of bullying or anything, is the hit and run, right?
Yeah.
So you don't confront someone face-to-face. You gather other people that isolate somebody, right? And so we're going to help those kids deal with, when you're obviously not going to be making someone's home team if that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's awesome. Yeah. I'm just going to transition over to football. I see you're wearing the Lions sweatshirt there. What did you think of their magical season? Obviously, the Niners had to end it, but what did you think of we're obviously Sacramento radio. We kind of went through a similar thing with the Kings last year. Did it feel just magical?
Yeah. I mean, it was I went back to, earlier in the year when they played the Raiders of all teams.
Yeah.
And it was a beatdown. And there might have been some Raider fans there, but you wouldn't have known it.
Yeah.
And so, if the Lions were here, which they should have been, then and they win, if they were won Sunday, on Monday, there might not be a city of Detroit. I mean, it's crazy there what they think of.
Yeah.
They've generations have gone by, with no winning in the playoffs. Right. And now here they get 2.
Yeah.
And I happen to be back there for both of them.
Wow.
And it was just, it's insane.
Yeah.
So if there was ever a team, along with Cleveland, that is starved, that's Detroit.
Yeah.
There you
That's
go.
awesome.
Talking to Eric Kramer, legendary NFL quarterback. Let's just get your pick now. I know you said your Lions should have been here.
Yeah.
But the Niners are here. The Chiefs, it feels like the Chiefs just booked their ticket every single season. Who do you think gets it done on Sunday?
So wouldn't it have been great, just to back up a second,
Okay.
to start the season with the Lions Chiefs and to end it
Yeah,
the same
that's
way.
so true.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So now that's not
Yes. Yeah.
now we'll talk reality.
Yeah.
So we are in the city of bets.
Yes.
Right. So if you're going to bet for someone, that also means you're going to bet against somebody.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm going to line this up for you.
Okay.
You've got the Chiefs with probably the best defense in the league all season. You've got the receivers apparently had a meeting and decided recently we're going to catch everything.
Yeah.
Right.
And not drop everything.
Yeah.
And then
It's a big difference.
and then you got probably the greatest quarterback who's ever lived in Patrick Mahomes playing for one of the best coaches who's ever lived in Andy Reid. So if you're going to place a bet,
Right.
I mean, knowing that you're going to be placing it against someone at the same
Yeah.
time, how do you bet against what I just laid out?
It'd be pretty difficult.
It's tough.
If you
Knowing
are-
the 49ers
Yeah.
are here not once but twice
Yep.
in a fortunate circumstance.
Yeah.
But maybe they learned from it, possibly, the Niners.
But you still got to have bullets in the gun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So you have Eric Kramer taking the Chiefs.
There you go.
Cannot go against the boogeyman number 15. Thank you so much for your time, Eric. Be sure to check out Eric's book, The
Yes.
Ultimate Comeback. A lot of great stuff in there. Eric, enjoy the rest of your time in Vegas, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, fellas. Appreciate you having me on and being here.
All right. You
Absolutely.
got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins live from Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
Hitting the road on our Jiffy Lube road trip. Join Stiles and Watkins live from Radio Row in Las Vegas Wednesday through Friday from 10 to 2 as they get you ready for the big game.
Plus, we have additional coverage on all our shows from Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross and the Drive Guys.
It's Stiles and Watkins live from Vegas, all part of our Jiffy Lube road trip on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com. 0 down with approved credit.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Titleist is introducing the next generation of AVX golf balls. It's for players looking for low-flying, low-spinning golf balls with a very soft feel and excellent greenside control. Re-engineered from core to cover with exceptional distance and extraordinary feel, the new AVX is even better. It's available in white and high optic yellow. Titleist also is introducing the new Tour Soft golf balls. A new larger core increases distance off the tee while providing an incredible soft feel on every shot. Golfers who tee up Tour Soft are looking for soft feel and performance throughout the bag. Play it in white, high optic yellow, or green. True Feel is the softest Titleist ball offering penetrating ball flight and distance from a unique spherically tiled dimple design. It's for players who prioritize soft feel and trust the quality and consistency of the Titleist brand. Another reason why Titleist is the #1 ball in golf. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Maida Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2024 half-ton Silverado in stock.
2.9 for 72 plus great Maida Chevy savings on new Silverado.
Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's try.
15,000 finance with finance for GM.
Sactown Sports road trip to Vegas to cover the big game is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your place to take your car before your next road trip.
For car maintenance, from oil changes to tires and brakes, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Now back to more of Stiles and Watkins.
Stiles and Watkins in Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports Road Trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by our friends at Jiffy Lube. When it's time for a road trip, visit Jiffy Lube for all your automotive maintenance needs. Jiffy Lube is your Radio Row and road trip headquarters, joined by Mark Schlereth. And Mark Schlereth, I mean, you are just a man of many talents. We know, you are, former player, analyst. So normally we go through what everybody is doing, right? But you have so much going on. Why don't you just tell us where we can find you? I feel like every time I turn on a TV screen, I see you, right? Yeah. What do you got going on right now?
I am trying to hide, so I'm not going to let you guys know anything that I'm doing. I'm just going to let you talk nicely about me for another 5 minutes, and I'm going to leave.
There you go.
Let me just tell you guys that I'm probably the most incredible Super Bowl participant in the history of the Super Bowl. So I got to believe that I'm the only guy, as rated by ESPN the other day, that was on 3 top 20 Super Bowl teams. I was on the 19th team rated, which is the 97 Broncos, the 10th rated team, which is the 98 Broncos, and the number 1 rated team in the history of the Super Bowl, the 91 Redskins, the only team that ever had a top 5 defense, top 5 offense, and top 5 special team. So I'm incredible. And let me see, what else have I done? I'm on the top Super Bowl team. The top, whatever they listed, CBS created the top players ever in the Super Bowl. So I'm on the Super Bowl all-time team, and then I'm the only guy in the history of the Super Bowl to win a Super Bowl on his birthday, where the Super Bowl actually the date or the number of the Super Bowl correlated with the guy's birthday. So I won Super Bowl 32 on my 32nd birthday. So I kick ass, I take names, I'm incredible, and you know what? And that's much does it. All right, good talking to you guys.
Thank you, Mark.
That was awesome.
Right?
Well, it just says, and I think that encapsulates everything, because when
plus, I forgot to tell you guys, I'm super humble.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
the most. The most rated number 1 most humble.
Yeah. That's right.
By ESPN.
As we talked to Mark Schlereth, football guy, NFL on Fox, also on The Fan as well, out in Denver, another brother-sister station, Bonneville.
Another Bonneville.
Got to represent, of course. What are you thinking? I'm sure I've seen you do about 18 different hits just in the last couple of days. How many times have you been asked the game manager question? Let's do it that way.
Well, let me tell you, I did San Francisco's last 2 games of the regular season. So I did week 17, week 18. And the first thing I asked Brock Purdy when I sat down with Brock was, okay, people call you game manager. How do you respond? And I love this. He looked at me and said, anybody who would call me a game manager either hasn't watched the film or has watched the film and have no idea what they're looking at.
We actually talked about your quote on our radio show when you said that.
So he bristled, and I'm 100%. Now, I'm a huge Brock Purdy fan, but I believe in managing the game for the quarterback position. I believe on throwing the ball on time. I believe in doing the right, taking the first read in the progression. If it's open, throwing it. And, I'll tell you one thing. I had talked to Byron Leftwich and Bruce Arians when Tom Brady was playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the head coach Bruce Arians and Leftwich was the offensive coordinator. I said, what sets Brady apart? What's special about him? And they said, if the first read in the progression is a flat route for 5 yards and it's open, Brady will take it 100 out of 100 times and put himself in second down and 6 minus. And that is rare. To be able to fall in love with the mundane.
Yeah.
To be able to understand how valuable that is as far as staying on schedule and staying in front of the chains. And like that's not high level kind of quote unquote quarterbacking.
Yeah.
That is taking what they give you and being maniacal in the way you go about your business. And so Brock Purdy, to watch him work through progressions, and I've seen him get to the fourth read in a progression in under 2.5 seconds, under 2 seconds. He has got unbelievable footwork. And when you talk about offensive and playing quarterback, there's an old saying in the West Coast offense that you throw the ball with your feet. And so every route and every route combination is got a corresponding footwork that goes with it.
Okay.
And when you hit that timing in the footwork, that ball is supposed to be out.
Yeah.
And so the timing of an offense is kept in the quarterback's feet.
Yeah.
And if that quarterback's feet are bad, or those sets aren't right, or those drops aren't perfect, then it doesn't time up with a route combination. And so Brock Purdy is exceptional foot energy, and exceptional with his feet. And that's why you can overcome not having, the livest arm, because you are on time with the football all the time. And you cannot be on time with the football if your feet are not on time.
So I love that you said that, and specifically with the West Coast offense, talking to Mark Schlereth, you've heard him calling games for NFL on Fox. So is it crazy? Because a lot of people keep doing this. If Josh Allen was on the Niners, they'd score 8,000 points every game. Based on what you said and the footwork, is it crazy to say that there are some of these quote-unquote elite guys that may not fit Kyle Shanahan's offense as well as somebody like Brock Purdy based on Brock's specific skill set?
Yeah, well, I think that obviously you would fit, Josh Allen and that arm talent into just about anything. But again, it really comes down to the nuance of football, and every position has unbelievable nuance involved in it to be effective. And you don't have to be the biggest or the strongest, but you do have to be a technician, and you do have to be incredibly married to your craft. And the guys who play that way, the guys who play disciplined, are the guys who make the critical plays in the critical moments. And the guys who aren't, because you can only, I don't care how good your arm talent is, you can only play off schedule so much. I call it this is my own kind of thing. I call it the 70-30 rule. 70% of the time we want to be on schedule. 30% of the time things are going to get screwed up.
Right.
And you got to play off schedule. Right. That's just the way it is. But if that gets out of whack and you start playing 50-50 ball, 50% off schedule, you'll make some plays.
Right.
But ultimately what you'll do is you'll create enough bad plays, and there'll be enough turnovers and enough things that happen to you in those off schedule plays where it ends up hurting you.
Yeah.
And so to be on schedule, to me, you have to play quarterback. You have to manage the game to be effective in this league. And we keep looking at it, and like Lamar, and there's no fault of Lamar, but whether it's Lamar or these guys that play more, even Russell Wilson, play more off schedule than they do on schedule. I'm still waiting for the first one of those guys to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It is those classic drop back, beat you from the pocket quarterbacks that end up, in my estimation, are the guys that, the NFL, it still is that type of league.
Yeah. And they always say it's a copycat league. I mean, I don't know how much you could replicate having Patrick Mahomes on your team, but if teams were to try and take what has made the 49ers so successful, what do you think it would be? Would it be how they've built the team? Or
Well, I think, listen, how you build the team, obviously their talent is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's exceptional. But how you run the ball. And as much as we try to morph the NFL into college football, it's not.
And devaluing running backs.
And it will never be. And so, I probably talked to 12 different teams last year alone. Offensive line coaches, coordinators, guys that I'm friends with, head coaches. Every one of them was studying the San Francisco 49ers run game. every single one of them. How are they doing it?
Yeah.
How are they creating these angles? How are they using their motions and their shifts to create angles and create opportunities? And I tell people this all the time. You look at like how they block an edge, how they block a defensive end, and you can take one play like 18 handoff, for instance, and you can trade block it with tackle tight end. You can quad block it with 2 tight ends. You can quad block it with 2 tight ends, but one coming from a solo off or solo back. So he motions across and he can go inside, take it off, or he can motion across all the way, and that the guy on the line of scrimmage can stay inside and he can be the outside portion. Now all of a sudden we can do it from a backfield set where it's near and it's a fullback loading it, or you can load it inside, you can load it outside. Now it's a fullback from a far formation. Now he motions across and now you can arc release, right? And that defensive end is going to go with that arc release, and all of a sudden you slam him in the ear hole from the opposite side with a fullback. So I just gave you 7 different ways or so of blocking a defensive end. So 2 guys adjust in that for San Francisco, right? 9 guys are doing the same damn thing they do on every play. It's the exact same play, but to a defense, it looks like 9 different plays.
Yeah.
To you, it's just one play.
Yeah.
It's just 2 guys blocking it a different way and create an edge. Now think about this: if you're a defensive end, now your head's on a freaking swivel. So now all of a sudden it comes time to rush the passer. You're like, where are they blocking me from? And then all of a sudden now you run a little transportation series and you motion a tight end from outside inside and he crack blocks the guy and you little pin and pull block. So now I just gave you another way to block that same defensive end, right? Yeah. And it's still 18 handoff.
Yeah.
And they make people's heads spin, and then all of a sudden in critical situations, you're a pass rusher and you're not worth a crap because your head's on a swivel. Like, where are they going to get me from? And so their run game is exceptional. And as easy as that sounds, it's really hard because you got to be on the same page all the time, and you got to do it from shifts and motions and create angles that essentially give you an advantage. So they're really they do a great job from an execution standpoint, and that's what makes them really special.
Yeah. Mark Schlereth, before we get you out of here, got to get your Super Bowl pick.
Well, come on, I'm a Shanahan guy.
Okay, all right, that's what we're talking about.
Mike and I are good friends, and I'm friends with Kyle, and I've known Kyle since he was freaking 12. So I'm going Niners 27, Kansas City 26.
Okay, so the Niners finally get it done, get
Let's
number
hope.
6. Thank you to Mark
Schlereth.
Go.
Yes.
3-time Super Bowl champ, call game for Fox, Denver Sports, Bonneville, sister station. Thank you, Mark Schlereth. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins.
The Kings made a trade
from Vegas, and the Kings made a trade. Sactown Sports.
Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Slayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of Tax Slayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use Tax Slayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. Tax Slayer. File fearlessly.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save on bulk purchases of select insulation from trusted brands like Green Fiber. And there's more. Save 10% when you buy 6 or more select interior pre-hung and slab doors. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
RC Willey has everything for your home, including furniture, mattresses, appliances, electronics, and flooring. With our vast selection, it's easy to find items that fit your style and your budget. We also offer a variety of finance options, including 0 down and 0 interest for 18 months. Whether you're looking to establish new credit or ready to make your space more cozy, we can help. With our flexible finance options, you can easily update your home one piece or one room at a time. Plus, we have a low price guarantee. Let us help you make your home your way at RC Willey.
All right, Uncle Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
The power's out at our house. Coffee table. But since our family has storm-ready Wi-Fi from Xfinity, we can stream or game in the dark, as I try and feel around for a seat. Here we go. Oh, who moved the couch?
Get storm-ready Wi-Fi only from Xfinity, so you can stay connected for up to 4 hours, even when the power goes out. Restrictions apply. Limited to customers within range of 4G, LTE, cellular signal speeds reduced to 30/7 megabits per second. Actual speeds vary. Learn more at xfinity.com/stormready.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
This time check is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville. Check them out at kiavacaville.com.
We are back, Stiles and Watkins, joined by the one, the only Michelle Beadle, and we are joined thanks to Jiffy Lube. Sactown Sports Road Trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by our friends at Jiffy Lube. When it's time for a road trip, visit Jiffy Lube. For all your automotive maintenance needs, Jiffy Lube is your road trip headquarters. And as we are joined by Michelle Beadle from Beadle and Decker, weekdays from 9 a.m. to noon Pacific on Sirius XM's Mad Dog Sports Radio channel. This is not your first time in Vegas.
In Vegas? God, no.
I was kidding.
No.
People, it's the first time. They need a reason. Yeah.
No, I do like to gamble a little bit. So to me, it's like a fun place. But being here for this feels like a completely different place.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't feel like maybe because we're actually being responsible and working and it's only halfway through the week. So I feel like you can't go hard.
Yeah. Earlier on, Chris said, we've been here all week and we got in last night.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Yeah.
I got in Sunday. I drove in from LA, got in Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah. Cause the rain was coming. I was like, let me just get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Lost a bunch of money in like 45 minutes and then went to my room. I was like, I haven't even started yet.
Well, what's your game?
Setting the tone.
So I'm like a nerd. I like blackjack but I also like the higher limit slots.
Okay.
And that's where all my monies went.
Wow. Wow. Hey, you enjoyed it. You enjoyed
for
it.
a minute, because you're like, I'm up, and it's gone. That's it.
Yeah, that's definitely a pretty big problem that I'm having. It feels great when you're up, but once it goes down, it just feels like it just starts tumbling incredibly quickly.
And then you're chasing it. Now we're in trouble.
And that's exactly what happens every single time. Michelle, I'm curious. I know we're at Super Bowl and this is all about football, but I am a huge basketball fan. I love basketball. You have the pleasure of working on a show that involves Shams Charania,
the best,
who is one of the newsbreakers in basketball. And, we're here in Sacramento. We hear things locally, like little whispers that just never reach public consumption. I'm just curious, what kind of things does Shams tell you that just never reach the light of day? And you're just like,
it's crazy.
What?
Well, first of all, he has one phone because people are always like, how many phones? It's just the one. And he'll sometimes, because I'm fascinated with how he gets some of the information.
Right. Yeah.
And then the conversations that happen that don't come to fruition. Like,
Exactly.
they were going to trade for... And then it doesn't work. So sometimes he'll share some of those types of stories. He's in trade deadline mode right now.
He's in a hole.
He's in home. He's at home.
Yeah.
He won't fly during trade deadline week because of the Wi-Fi. He's worried on the plane he might not have good Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So he's literally flying here Thursday night after the deadline passes. I've never met a younger old man in my entire life.
How old is he? Because
he's 20-something. He's a child. Literally could be his mom. Yeah. And yet you wouldn't know. Because he's so wise and mature, and then I work with Chandler Parsons and Lou Will, who've been drunk since they got here. So I'm just sitting there going, "This is a weird juxtaposition of humans."
Yeah. Well, that's what makes the show great. And while we're on basketball, before we got plenty of time to talk football, how do you view the Sacramento Kings right now, stuck in that fifth seed? We call it the second tier of the Western Conference. I've been on record saying they weren't going to make a move.
There's still 24 hours, man. There's still some
never
time,
going to. I've been saying this for a month, right? And now with the trade deadline, it's upon us. What do you think about the Kings? Let's just assume at this point, they don't make a move.
Yeah.
Would it be a mistake? What's their ceiling as presently constructed?
That's the thing is I was at the game when they played the Warriors when Draymond came back from that suspension, which was weird because it was in San Francisco and he got a standing ovation. I was like, this is not a good message.
Yeah.
But okay. And so, and then De'Aaron Fox got hurt. So it was just like, this is a fun up and coming team. My question though is if they did make a move, what would you want to move for? Because who do you get rid of? I don't really know that I want to move anybody off the team. The West is an interesting place right now because it looks like, knock on wood for them, but the Clippers seem to have figured something out.
Yes.
And, as a Laker hater, I'm all for that, obviously. But it's and the Warriors are not going to be an issue. So it's just kind of a weird time for the Kings because it's kind of open. I mean, I know you got the Nuggets, obviously.
Right.
And I think the Clippers are going to be there as well. But I don't know that you want to make a big move. And I don't know if there's anybody out there that I'm willing to give someone up to bring in. That's the bigger issue, I think.
And the big question, too, is just, is there truly a window of opportunity here? And if you look, there's been some parity in the NBA, unlike that's been in the past. The NBA is kind of a league of dynasties in a way where, it's the Bulls win 6 and the Spurs and then the Warriors. And now you have teams, it seems like every single year we're getting different matchups. Do you feel like now would be the time to strike, or should the Kings be a little bit more reserved and maybe wait out their timeline?
I would wait it out in the sense that I don't see anybody who's on this, so-called list of people that may not get traded in the next 24 hours. I don't know that I'm adding any of them to this Kings team. I wouldn't mess it up. There are a few teams like that. Like Oklahoma City. I'm not buying that they're going to be in the conference finals at the end, but they're certainly fun to watch right now. I wouldn't mess that up either. I'm not adding to that. I think the Knicks are an interesting position right now because they are so much fun to watch. The East for me is open. I buy none of the teams in the East at this point. The Bucks, I don't know what they're doing. And that's poor Doc. I'm like, that's a whole nother situation.
Poor Doc,
dude. That man has a horseshoe up his bum. That's the luckiest man in the world.
You could bring him to Vegas.
Good God, I'm just it's crazy to me. And I like the guy. He used to be our color analyst with the Spurs back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. But yeah, I wouldn't do anything crazy. I think the Lakers will probably make a move because that's what they do. And we got the LeBron cryptic emoji tweets, so something has to happen.
Hourglass.
By the way,
what does that mean?
By the way,
I love it.
What are you
I love
doing?
it. I'm a conspiracy theory guy. I love it all. Give me the tinfoil hats.
He's 40. What are we doing?
Come on.
He's 30. Is he still 39? He's still
You
39.
round up at this point.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, this is like what a 19-year-old girl does when her boyfriend just broke up with her and she puts like a cryptic tweet out there. And you're like, what does it mean?
Yeah.
Come on.
Talking to Michelle Beadle, host of Beadle and Decker weekdays from 9 a.m. to noon on Sirius XM's Mad Dog Sports Radio channel. Let's get into some football now.
All right, let's talk about it.
All right, and maybe I've been asking so many people this, and I'm waiting for somebody to be on the same side as me. And Michelle, I think you are that person. Okay. No. You have to be this person. All right. Can we say that the whole Brock Purdy game manager thing, can we say it's done?
Yes.
If everybody is saying, put some respect on his name, isn't he now respected?
I don't get it, because if you took a person who's never watched a football game in your life and you explained these are all the teams, at the end 2 will be left standing because they were the best and then they play for the big dog.
Right.
Then they would be like, okay, cool. So these are the 2 quarterbacks for those teams. You wouldn't have to sit there and then explain all these asterisks about how, well, this one's just a game manager and a system player. He's here. His numbers are great across the board. I don't know where the origin of sort of the doubt comes from. I don't know if it's because he looks like a nerd that never changes his facial expression.
We call him a tech bro.
By the way, it's gotten so bad, guys, that today, every time I look up, there'd be like a nondescript white dude walking around. I was like, is that
Brock? Is that Brock?
I think that's Brock Purdy.
You know, people are calling it draftism. Okay, being the last pick in the draft.
But isn't that cool? This is why we have movies for stories like this.
It's cool, but that's why people are saying it can't be him.
But Tom Brady was 6th round. Like, what are we doing?
You're not wrong.
It's not like he was drafted in the 1st round. We have undrafted dudes that go on to be superstars.
Yeah.
There's something about this kid who's, again, doesn't change his facial expression, which does start to scare me after a while. It's very sociopathic at some point, right? Like, are we being honest right now?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see if he wins and we get to see a change. That might be worth it for all of this in the end.
Yeah.
And then I wonder what the haters will say if that happens. Like, how do we excuse that?
That's what I was going to ask you is do you think it stops? If Brock wins the Super Bowl, does the hate stop, or is it just on to something else that you can critique?
It's going to be on something else. It'll be like, oh, yeah, he had like threw for 3 touchdowns and an interception. See? The interception. I'm like, wait, hold up. Like, what are we talking about right now? So there's a part of me that I don't have a horse in the race at all. I don't necessarily care who wins. I like the stories. I'm kind of pulling for it just because I want to see how the loud people, as I call them, deal with it, because it's going to give them headaches. They're going to have to come up with something.
So before we get you out of here, a couple more. We might have a bonus question for you. Ooh. This is not the bonus, but just to ask the initial question, who do you have, Niners or Chiefs?
God, I feel like Chiefs are going to win, but I would like the Niners to win. I'm a dynasty hater. If it's not the Spurs, I don't want it.
Yeah, I was going to say, hold on now. The math ain't math.
I know. It's like, I'm a very selfish, self-centered person. So if it's not mine, don't want it.
There you go. All right.
Admit it.
The bonus question is, and this is the first time we've done this. The first time we've done this, you can choose between the two. You have been around for so long, and we've all watched you kind of just grow, and you're doing your thing. So the two questions you can choose between. You can either let us know or perform a hidden talent, or
you're dropping this now,
or tell us something that even the biggest Michelle Beadle fan may not know about you.
Okay, so when I was like in the 1st grade, that's where we're going. I had a very angelic face.
Okay.
I mean, you would not know, very innocent looking little girl. I used to, you'd have your crayon boxes. Everybody have their little box, and I would go around asking to borrow a crayon. And when I did that, I would steal the 2 dimes that they had for milk in the box. By the way, that's how old I am. Milk was 20 cents. And then one day my mom found like a Ziploc bag just full of dimes and was like, what is this? I'm like, And I had to apologize in front of the entire class. Wow. Criminal mastermind could have been my future, but I went for this path.
That just sounds like good business.
Thank you.
That's just good.
It's not my fault they didn't
business.
hide their dimes.
Right.
You're stupid.
Right. Wow. This has been outstanding.
Incredible.
Michelle Beadle, host of Beadle and Decker weekdays from 9 a.m. to noon Pacific time on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio channel. Michelle, it has been a pleasure.
This is awesome.
Enjoy the rest of your time. I'll give
By
you
the
a
way,
hint.
y'all are in it. Like you can just watch
we're
everything.
in it. Yes,
we're
we're
in it. Yeah,
We
we're
see
trying
Baker
to pay
Mayfield
attention.
walk by. We got
They-
Cam over
They
here.
were doing the haka
We saw
earlier, doing a different
Danny
interview
DeVito's
that we had.
agent walked by.
Yeah, he talked to me like he knew me too.
No, I can't.
He talked to me
I
like he knew me
can't.
too.
It's a whole
I'll
thing.
give you a hint. I know you got your games. Look, a little bit of roulette, maybe switch it up a little bit.
No, I have to.
You
If
might
I go
have
down
to.
right away, I'm switching it back.
There you go.
I hate myself.
There you go. Michelle, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your time in
Thanks, guys.
Vegas. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins in Vegas, thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins on the road to Las Vegas. Starting Wednesday from 10 to 2, join the guys live from Radio Row as they get exclusive interviews to prep you for the big game.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
It's Stiles and Watkins live from Vegas, all part of our Jiffy Lube road trip on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my friends at Fire Wings talking about Wings Day Wednesday. That's right, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. 3-flavor lineup includes 7 classic, 7 dry rub, and 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to watch and enjoy sports with friends. 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Save time. Order online for pickup or delivery. Just go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you. Order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Our Stiles and Watkins road trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. For car maintenance from oil changes to tires and brakes, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Now back to more of Stiles and Watkins.
Thank you again to all of our guests that have joined us so far, and we have more coming up. We are just getting started, and special thanks to Jiffy Lube for making our road trip to Radio Row possible. Jiffy Lube, a proud sponsor of Sactown Sports. Now, right, we don't have a guest at this very second, so apparently there was a trade with the Kings.
Yeah.
Oh, can't say that. I can now. It's a different roster.
There you go.
The K word?
Well,
Yeah.
Alan, you'll
The
be
purple
disappointed
team.
to know when I read this out to you, all of the details. As we learned right before the trade deadline, let me pull it up here. I believe it was Shams Charania who had the news first, that the Sacramento Kings did make a trade for one of my favorite players in the NBA. But unfortunately, Alan, and I guess in a weird way, fortunately for you, he will not be playing or suiting up for the Sacramento Kings. From Adrian Wojnarowski, the Milwaukee Bucks are trading Robin Lopez to the Sacramento Kings. Lopez is expected to be waived and become a free agent. Alan Stiles, go ahead, do your victory lap, whatever you need to do. It's official now. We are past 12 o'clock. The deadline is officially dead.
I just realized it's over.
You are right. You are correct. Go ahead.
Well, I told
The
you
Kings
this was
didn't
going to
happen.
happen.
The
I
Kings
told
did
you
not.
this was going to
You did.
happen.
No, you said it. You said it.
And I didn't want to be right.
No, you didn't.
I did not want to be right, but here we are.
Yep.
Radio Row, it is apparently Thursday is the busiest, and I can believe it. Things have been going on everywhere, and, at least something is happening in Vegas because nothing is happening in Sacramento. So Robin Lowe. So Brooks' brother.
Yes. Brooks'
so not
brother,
the one
Robin.
that shoots the threes on.
Not
on
the one who
Bucks?
shoots three. Yeah, the one that looks like Sideshow Bob. Like with
And
the
he's
big old
so
hair.
why would they trade him just to release him?
That's a fantastic question. I don't have a clear answer to that. But they traded him for cash considerations. So it's really they didn't give up anything.
Okay.
If I had to guess, it's just they had an open roster spot, and it cleared up a little bit of cap space for them, or maybe they just had. Maybe this is just a weird NBA favor that I just don't understand because I'm not that deep into it. That's
NBA favor.
That's the only thing that I can think.
NBA favor.
Yeah.
So in the last, so not even through the a little bit more than 24 hours, not 48 hours, a little more than 24 hours, something like that, or 12 hours, whatever you call it. The Sacramento Kings lost to the worst team in the league.
Yes, that's correct.
And did nothing about it.
Yep, nothing. Not a single
besides get Robin Lopez, who the report is they will release Robin.
They are going, yes. It is in the same exact tweet as
for some cash.
As him being traded to the Kings is Lopez is expected to be waived and become a free agent.
I mean, I knew that they wouldn't do anything big, but this is bad.
It's not great. It's really not great. Like, again, because I mean, it feels like the goalpost has moved so much. It was, oh my God, Kyle Kuzma, Jeremy Grant. And then, when we would do the roundtables, it's all right, maybe like a Royce O'Neal, maybe a Dorian Finney-Smith. We can hope for Alex Caruso. And then the goalpost gets moved all the way back. And it's oh no, they actually didn't. Absolutely nothing. Not even, swapping a player for the sake of just, I don't know, getting a different mind or a different body in there. No, this is going to be the same Sacramento Kings that we have seen all year long. And in a way, it's a bit like insanity. It's doing the same thing and expecting anything different than what we've seen through, what is it? It's been 50 games or something like that already. I'm confused.
And can I be honest here?
I hope so.
And this is going to be the worst the next couple weeks because I love everyone. Shout out to the Sac chat, the text line, the buyout market stuff. There's nobody.
No,
Are the only person I would even think about is that's a great point. They have to pick you essentially. PJ Tucker. I would be interested in PJ Tucker. Okay, I'm seeing here from Chris Haynes.
I was like, I think
Clippers
I just saw something about Chris.
PJ Tucker will not request.
There we go.
Will not request a buyout and will remain with the team through the duration of the season. So you can't even get PJ Tucker.
Nope.
All you get is Robin Lopez, who you're gonna move. This is terrible.
It was the best 30 seconds.
Do you know did the Warriors do anything?
They traded Corey Joseph. They traded Corey Joseph
but
to the
nothing
Pacers, which, I mean, Warrior fans, I feel like are throwing a parade for that. I mean, they were so tired of Corey. I mean, when I went to San Francisco, the first game of this Kings 7-game road trip that they were just on, that was pretty much the only thing I heard from a couple different lower level media members and a couple fans as well. I heard, I don't care what the Warriors do at the deadline. I don't care if Clay's here. I don't care if Dre's still here. I just want Corey Joseph gone.
Right.
And so, the Warriors ship off Corey Joseph for a second-round pick and cash consideration. So they pretty much just got him out of town. But, it's really disappointing that even the Kings couldn't even do what they did last year at the deadline and bringing in a guy like Kessler Edwards, who even at the moment of the deadline, it was, oh, man, the Kings did nothing. Well, they brought in Kessler Edwards. Now we can actually say, no, the Kings did nothing at this deadline.
This is still kind of the T-Wolves' fault. So the T-Wolves, they ruined the trade market, and Karl-Anthony Towns took Sabonis' spot.
Oh, my God.
That's what the T-Wolves have done. They're the reason the Kings don't have an all-star, and they're the reason the Kings, and nobody really was able to make a trade. I'm thinking right now, Chris, though, PJ Tucker, he's no dummy. The Clippers are rolling now. At this point, it's he's just ring chasing anyway. Where am I going to go?
Where am I going to go?
Would you rather get an A?
Weather's nice, you know.
Right? Would you rather get an A and do no work,
Yeah.
or get a C and do some really hard work?
Yeah.
I'll tell you my answer.
Yeah.
It is not do hard work for a C.
Yeah.
All right,
Absolutely.
got to get to a break. When we get back, we will be joined by Bonnie Jill Laughlin, the first and only female NBA scout. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense. It can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville. Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers, the No Surprise guys. We love that old song, Respect. You know, RESPECT.
It's a good song and a good business philosophy. At Bell Brothers, everything we do is designed to show respect for our customers.
We show up on time out of respect. Our technicians are clean-cut, friendly, and wear identification badges out of respect.
We do good deeds for free for our customers and leave their homes cleaner than we found them. That's right, out of respect.
So, if you want plumbing and AC service from a company that will show you some RESPECT, call Bell Brothers. We promise to respect your time, your home, and you.
Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule an $87 precision tune-up. Or call if you have plumbing problems. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Join Sactown Sports at Twin Peaks for big game action on over 40 screens. And your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see pop icons The Jacksons at Thunder Valley on March 30th. Don't miss it.
Sactown Sports road trip to Vegas to cover the big game is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your place to take your car before your next road trip.
Coverage from Las Vegas is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your road trip headquarters.
We are back. Sactown Sports road trip to Radio Row in Las Vegas is brought to you by our friends at Jiffy Lube. When it's time for a road trip, visit Jiffy Lube for all your automotive maintenance needs. Jiffy Lube is your road trip headquarters, and we are now joined by Bonnie Jill Laughlin, the first and only female NBA scout, NFL and NBA dancer. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you. It's fun to be here, right? It's the 4th day, but it's
awesome.
It's a lot, right?
It's our
I don't know how many
second
times
day.
you guys
It's
have
our
been.
second
to Radio
day.
Row.
This is our first time here. But
Oh
this
my
is our
God. Do you
second
love
day.
it?
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
As far as a radio show is concerned, it's not the typical, you know what I mean? But life is about doing different things.
And pivoting and figuring out what works,
Being in the
right?
flow state.
Exactly.
That's right. Also host Odyssey and Fubo TV. Just talk to us a little bit about the NBA scouting and how you have kind of broken into that, because honestly, when we're sitting in the media area and we see scouts in front of us, it's pretty cool because they're taking notes and we're thinking, is this for free agency? Is this for trades? These guys are already in the league. When I think scouts, it's the draft.
Yeah.
These guys are already in the league. What exactly are they scouting?
Right. And those are the advanced scouts usually, scouting sometimes a game,
Yeah.
but for me, it was college players. And so they had to have 1 year eligibility. So I didn't, thank God, I didn't have to go to high schools. That would have been, it's already brutal being on the road.
Yeah.
Big 12 and Pac-12, Pac-10 at the time now. There's no conference there. But it was great because the first year, if people don't realize, I didn't even get paid. I was trying to prove myself.
Yeah.
And so I was working on air talent for the flagship for the Lakers. And Phil Jackson and Jerry West, they love my eye for talent. And so I started going on the road, and I would come back with scouting reports, and they'd be like, wow, you're so detailed, like Mitch Kupchak would. And they wouldn't even. Am I still on?
Yes.
Yeah. I heard that too.
Did you hear that? It dropped.
Yes.
So they liked my scouting reports, and they signed me to a 5-year deal and another 5-year deal, and I was with them for 13 years. Got
That's
5 rings, so got some hardware as well.
Oh, and you're not wearing any?
I've got my Super Bowl ring from the Niners.
Okay.
Yes, that's
you can wear for different
that must be
occasions
nice.
there.
Come on.
Yeah, so the Niners, Eddie DeBartolo, remember Eddie D?
Yes.
He was the first owner to give cheerleaders rings.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I was 18 years old, and
Wow.
I was like, this is pretty awesome.
I feel like this is normal, right?
Yeah.
But to in depth about your questions, for me, it's like I loved scouting, but I kind of missed being on air. So after 13 years, I jumped ship with Phil, and ended up getting back on air because I love baseball, football, basketball, horse racing, boxing, MMA, and I wanted to be able to do that as well. And it was kind of a good time to leave because it was kind of a sinking ship when I left. So I was like, all right, this is the time to go. We're not going to win any more rings for a while. So
well, and now even if you would have stayed, you wouldn't have anything to do because LeBron and his team is going to do all the scouting for you.
They run the whole team.
They run the whole thing.
He's the GM. He's the coach. He's the director of scouting.
That's right.
Player personnel.
Exactly.
And PR and marketing. And sometimes sponsors, depending if it's a conflict for him.
Exactly.
You're actually joining us at a perfect time because it's the trade deadline as well, or just passed. It was pretty quiet.
It was pretty quiet, and I'll be honest.
It
wasn't. I'm not that surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought there was a couple splashy, type of trades, but I don't know. It's tough. The game has changed, and the way that the GMs handle these trades, they talk to before it'd be them.
Yeah.
A couple of people, but now it's like they have to talk to the coach, have to talk to the players, have to talk. There's so many different moving parts, agents, to see if it's going to work, if it's going to fit. There's so much heaviness on them if they do the wrong trade, if it's not going to work, if the players there's going to have chemistry, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If there's enough balls on the court, you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Because everyone's a ball hog. Everyone's who's going to run up the ball. It's like, I don't know. It's changed.
Yeah.
From when I was scouting and there.
Right.
So how much does the scout or scouts in general, how much is it a collaborative effort with everyone, with the GMs, with the coaches, with the players to understand that you guys are all trying to pull on the same string?
Yeah, for me, it's Phil Jackson. So it's someone with a really high basketball IQ is key because of running that triangle. I mean, you could be a great basketball player, but if you didn't have that IQ and you want to run and gun, it's not about that with Phil.
Yeah.
And Phil liked big guards, and there's so many things that Phil didn't like or liked. And so, do you know what I mean? It wasn't like just looking for talent. You had to think of what Phil wanted. And the Lakers, we always had a really low draft pick, or sometimes we even have one because we were winning it.
Yeah.
So overseas was really important. There were so many things that our scouts were kind of under fire because we had to try to still find someone, even though we had already had a roster. But it was good. Like Jordan Farmar was my first guy. I don't remember him.
Nice. Yeah,
UCLA.
Yeah.
And so he was kind of my feather in my cap for the first one because everyone's like, oh, UCLA kid, but they weren't sure how he would mesh in with the rest of the team and with D Fish and he did well.
Yeah. Talking to Bonnie Jill Laughlin, host Odyssey Fubo TV, and we know we'll get it in for Jay, UT alum. So
there you go.
But you know what? I don't get all. I don't get.
Know, Jay. We know.
But you know what? I don't get crazy when they do the horns down. Everyone's getting all sensitive.
Yeah.
I'm not sensitive about that. But I mean,
it's a big
when you
deal.
go to UT, we're used to haters, right?
Absolutely.
So you got the Aggies used to do it to us.
Oh,
All the Sooners.
What do I even recognize?
I know.
Right.
And now that we're going to SEC, we're going to get a lot of haters. You know what I mean? So it's like. But the more haters, the better. But I think when people get sensitive about it, you're just bringing it to the forefront. I just don't say anything.
Right. That's
you know
like
what I mean?
the Russell Westbrook thing.
Yes.
Oh, don't call me Westbrook.
Yeah.
What
now
do you
we
think
all
people
call
are
it,
going
of
to do?
course.
What do you think people
Of
are going
course.
to do? You know, it's a great note that you said on Phil Jackson, because what we talk about on this show is that just like in dating, there are teams that have types. And Kyle Shanahan definitely has a type.
Yeah.
He likes dudes that are not afraid of contact, right?
Yep.
So when you see a Debo, when you see a
Yep.
George Kittle, they
Mhm.
all fit that type. What have you seen from the Niners to make you feel like, obviously we are the Sacramento Niners flagship. What do you see from the Niners that makes you feel, we'll get to your official pick
Yeah.
later, but what do you see from the Niners that makes you feel like they can beat that boogeyman number 15 and the Kansas City Chiefs?
It's really tough, okay, because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to be a homer, but it's like, first of all, I don't want to get to the Super Bowl again and lose. I don't want to be the
It's
Buffalo
rough.
Bills. You know, we
Right.
have 5, but you know what I mean? As in, like,
absolutely.
recent,
It starts
you know?
to become a thing.
And so it's like the fact that we haven't been able to get to the quarterback is a very big issue with me. We have not been the same defense that you've seen regular season,
Right.
correct?
Yep.
It's like, what is that? You know, it's like, oh, the rust, you know, the bye. No, that's usually for a quarterback. The rest of the guys should actually be good for them, right, to get healthy. So I'm really scared about that, the pass rush, and to be able to get to the quarterback. And you can't leave any time on the clock. That guy will run right down the field. He'll beat you with his arms. He'll beat you with his legs. Like, so I'm optimistic. If we have the team we've had regular season, I think we'll be okay. We can't let them get ahead.
Yeah.
We know that, because we can't come from behind each game,
Right.
especially with this team.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I have a lot of faith in Brock. He showed that he could beat you with his legs,
Right.
which was shocking, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, here we go, Brock.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think he wants to get that monkey off his back. Shanny has to. I mean, from Atlanta to the 49ers, he wants to win it too.
Right.
And I love Shanahan because he was our ball boy when I was a cheerleader. He was
Really?
our ball boy.
Wow.
Yeah, because Mike was our DC.
Right.
And then now, and then Ed McCaffrey was on our team.
Yeah.
And then you got CMC. It's like kind of like a very, almost like if you want to see the stars are aligning,
Yeah.
maybe it is. And
Yeah.
we know, regardless of like the talent, sometimes the stars do have to align. It has to be a little bit of luck. And I like how Nick Bosa said, yeah, you know, the Chiefs, they hold a lot. And
Yeah.
it's like he kind of put that in the air for the rest of the
It was
game.
smart.
It
It
was
was
smart.
smart.
Because
Right.
if you're a
Yeah.
rep, you're going to say, yeah, I mean, I may be looking at it a little longer, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, I like that he did that on opening night. I'm being optimistic. I am scared of Mahomes, you know, and I don't,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
mean, rightfully
and,
so.
and Kelsey's playing out of his mind right now. You know, they're saying there's that Taylor Swift, like, distraction. No,
I know.
it's
Come on
lifted them.
Yeah.
You've got
Yeah.
the Swifties like, oh,
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
right.
It's a lot
Like,
of motivation.
Yeah.
I would not want to disappoint those people.
Right.
No.
but I just can't. Oh God, if they win again,
Ugh.
oh my
Yeah.
God, I just
This
can't.
is supposed to be their down year.
I know that's the tough thing.
All
too.
season I was saying Mahomes not having a great season.
Yeah.
He's not
I
having
know.
the numbers.
I
you
didn't
know?
think they were barely gonna make the playoffs.
Thank
as it was
you.
for the AFC West being so
Oh
bad.
my gosh, you know, and,
terrible.
and I was pulling hard for the Ravens. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Wow, you're a huge Ravens fan." I'm like, "No, first of all, I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. So I've
Yes.
watched him since Louisville. I love him,
Right.
Yeah.
but I just want. Can we just please do it? Can we please get this W?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to.
You know,
Bonnie, quick question, and this is something that I know, just knowing you a little bit, that you can really speak to. Carissa Thompson came out and had a lot of heat this past season, right?
Yeah.
About people who do just what you do,
Yeah.
and you've been around
yeah.
for a while. You've been blessed to do it.
Yeah.
You've been one of the best. Speak to that. Like, did that offend you as, you know, in the position that you've been in, or did you understand it, or were you able to see through kind of what she was saying?
Yes. Okay. There's a lot of layers to that.
Yes. Yeah.
First off, I don't get sensitive. I have very thick skin. After being, you know, in the position I've been in, I'm like, okay, you know,
Right.
people take everything very for what, like, maybe they interpret it differently than I would. When she said it, I'm like, first of all, let's see what the platform she was on. She was on Barstool.
Right.
Okay, so she was kind of letting her hair down, kind of having
Yeah.
fun. Like, you know, they're bringing it out. She's, you know, and I love Carissa, you know, so I think she has to be careful what she said, because you can't say that you make up the reports. You know, that was the one thing. She could have said that I elaborate sometimes, or I know what he usually said. There was something more that she could have said. I think it was bad because, unfortunately, with a woman in sports, anything that is negative, it sets us way back,
Yes.
you know, because we're under a
Yes.
microscope. We say a
Yes.
player's last name wrong, we are crucified.
Yeah.
Y'all say it, and it's like, whatever. And it's
Right.
fine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
Right.
where,
That's how
you know,
it
we
is,
know what
yeah.
it is. But I think by her saying that now, people are like, oh, because I've had people say, oh, did you make up your reports?
Right.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
it
Yeah.
loses our credibility.
I know.
Everybody,
And so it's like, great. You know, and I've done a lot of sideline, and you're like, no, like, I have, first of all, we do so much research. Then we like go to the coach. We're asking him
Yeah.
tons of questions. You know what I mean? It's like we
Yes.
never make up our reports. If
Yes.
anything, I'm like really like scared about misinterpreting like verbatim, like saying the wrong, you know what I mean? Like
elaborate.
I always say, coach said, quote, blah, blah, blah.
Because transcribe it properly.
Yes, because you have to be careful. And so I think I'm going to be honest, I think it set us back. And I thought it was really a bad hit on women in sports. But I love Carissa. So do you know what I mean? You know, it's like, it's hard.
And I asked you that because, again, going back to our time at Fox sideline reporting and things like that, you were one of the people who always called on time.
Yeah.
You were one of the people that, you know, we got, and I'll take it behind the curtain. It was, you know, per game we had the play-by-play, the analyst, or the sideline reporter, and we had one of you that would call in, give us a pre and a post, and you were always on point, right?
Thank you.
And so it was always one of those things where if we weren't able to get the proper report, it might set off something wrong. So I just wanted to make sure I asked you that.
No, it's true.
Yes.
I mean, you can't. I mean, it's like saying, oh, someone tore his ACL and they didn't. I mean, it's not as extreme as that, but I'm just saying it's still. You can't say you make up, especially with a coach. People want to know what the coach is saying. You can't say. I mean, we know what he's going to say, kind of. We kind of know, you know.
And not that a lot of people really care.
And I know
that was the big question, right?
And I like that you said that because that's what it was. He made a great point because he said that, oh, you know, they don't even listen to sideline reporters. So now fans are saying, yeah, we don't need them. If they're making up the reports, then why do we need them? Now you're taking money out of my pocket.
Right, that's true.
You know, now they're saying they don't need sideline reporters.
Yep.
So that was
if they're making up stuff anyway,
right?
You know, all right. Well, we'll get you out of here. Let's get your pick, and also if you want to talk a little bit about your charity, Hounds and Heroes,
and my book
that as well, and your book as well.
Yeah. So prediction. I don't like to predict. You know why? Because every time I predicted the Niners, it's a jinx.
Oh.
So I'm not going to. I'm hoping the Niners win, but I think it's going to be a close game.
You are the first one to abstain, which we respect.
And the only reason is because every time I've said it, I'm telling you, it's not gone.
Yeah. That's a true.
And I guess I'm superstitious. I know, and it's like I cover the team, but I'm like I guess I'm kind of a homer.
Yeah, that's a true fan.
You know?
Right there.
But I'm also I know what we need to do.
Yeah.
I'm just I hope that Shanahan knows. Shanahan, please don't abandon the run.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when we need to open offense, please do that. Don't go conservative on me.
Right.
Yeah. So.
All right. Tell us about your book.
In a League of Our Own. So female first in sports. And it's I wanted to have a book that encompasses all the women that have paved the way, and pioneers. So Billie Jean King is my chapter 1, Layla Ali, Jackie Joyner Kersey, Mary Lou Retton, Danica Patrick. I can go on and on. And it's like all the women of sacrifices and everything they did. And I want a book that the younger females could look at and say, oh, wow, I have a dream. Oh, I can be on the ice. I can be off the ice. I can be in the front office and I'm a female. And that dream can actually come true and come to fruition.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up with 2 sisters, mom, grandma. So to see that type of stuff and for them to know what's possible, that's outstanding.
Right.
And your charity, Hounds and Heroes.
Hounds, Heroes, and Horses. We rescue dogs and we pair them up with wounded warriors that need a service dog, therapy dog, I should say, as well. Amputees, PTS, TBI. We're also now doing CTE for athletes who want an equine therapy for disabled children. So just a way to give back. Animals do wonders for humans, even if you're not struggling with those problems. So I was like, let me make a difference and try to do something. So I got a ranch in Fort Worth and have everyone come over and play with animals.
There you go. That's awesome. Bonnie Jill Laughlin, thank you so much. Catch her on Odyssey, catch her Fubo TV, and we won't do the horns down. We won't be disrespectful.
And go to Amazon for my book.
And go to Amazon for her book. Thank you so much.
And hook
Bonnie.
them.
Hook them up.
Hook 'em
All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Stiles and Watkins live from Las Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs. It's Super Bowl 58, live from Las Vegas, Sunday, February 11th on Sactown Sports.
Toyota's President's Day sales event is on. Now is your chance to save big on Toyota's entire lineup of 16 hybrid and electrified vehicles. Don't miss out on the best deals of the year. This President's Day, get low 1.99% APR, plus an incredible $2,500 bonus cash on the all-electric 2023 BZ4X. Hurry in for these President's Day deals and more. Get to your Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS suppliers with premium rated credit and 3424.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo, with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, parties, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. One-day tickets are on sale now, starting at $46, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Hubble Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-805-1723. 800-805-1723. That's 800-805-1723.
Nada Subaru says yes during the huge President's Day sales event on Now. Yes to financing as low as 1.9%. Yes to awesome lease offers. Yes to great trade-in values. Yes to huge selection of new and certified pre-owned Subarus in stock ready to go. Outback, Forester, Crosstrek, Ascent, WRX, and more. All with huge Nada Says Yes savings. The President's Day sales event is on. Stop by Nada Subaru today or visit NadaSubaru.com and click the Unlock Nada Says Yes savings button to unlock your savings on the card you want today. Whatever you choose, you're going to save big during the President's Day sales event on Now at Nada Subaru. Yes to financing as low as 1.9%. Yes to attractive lease offers. Yes to exceptional trade-in values. Yes to great selection. Over 300 new and certified pre-owned Subarus available. The huge President's Day sales event on Now at Nada Subaru. NadaSubaru.com.
Approved premium credit 1.9 financing on new 2024 Outback.
Made a great deal at Nada.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price. Tune in to Sactown Sports broadcast of the big game this Sunday afternoon between San Francisco and Kansas City. Sponsored by Xfinity. Stream your favorite live sports on the next generation Xfinity 10G network.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
We are back. Stiles and Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m. We are joined by the one, the only Brian Jones, CBS Sports college football analyst. Another Texas Longhorn.
Talk to him.
Talk to him.
I'm starting to feel like
Talk
Jay's intentionally doing
Play with the Raiders, the Colts, the Saints. Thank you so much for being with us.
You got it, man. Back to back, hook 'em.
That's right. I'm not mad at it. Look, I seen you all day. You've been running around doing different hits, so I appreciate you taking the time.
No problem, man. Jay told me I had to get my ass over here since we graduated from the same school. So I had to listen to my man. You know, that's fam now.
There you go. And look, you're good in my book. Whenever you bring gifts, and by the way, because we live on YouTube and people always joking me. So basically, Brian comes with these shirts. We're about to talk about Watson X. We're about to talk about it, and Brian says, "What size shirt do you need?" Right? So I say, he said, "You need a large or extra large?" I said, I'm more of a large. He goes, "Don't be wearing those schmedium shirts." But that's what I do. I need the schmedium sometimes.
Show off them guns,
I'm not in the gym for nothing, bro.
Thank you.
You know how it is. So let's talk about Watson X and everything that it's doing. Look, I know Jay's taking shots at Temple for no reason. Okay, but
no need to take a shot.
Well, that's what I'm saying. All right. So I'm big on college sports. This is a recruiting portal.
Yes.
You can talk about Watson X, talk about your feelings on the transfer portal, NIL. The floor is yours.
My business partner is a former NFL player, such as me, Kenyon Rashid. He's got this vast technology background. We've been doing sports biz development and marketing for the last 20 years. And applying technology to needs in the sports world. And we found, as I'm sure everyone's aware that follows college football, with the shifting landscape, there are so many inefficiencies in the space currently. So how can we assist the athlete as well as the coaches in the recruiting process? And the key is to aggregate all this data that's out there, all these different variables that go into picking a school or choosing the right recruit for your program. So we're aggregating all that data under our platform, edge3.ai, and we've partnered with IBM and their Watson X technology to power our engine. Watson X has been in business, or IBM, I should say, has been in business over 100 years, and they've been in sports, Wimbledon, U.S. Open, the Masters Golf Tournament. Their predictive analytics has been utilized in all those different sports I just mentioned. We want to incorporate it into our engine and help with the predictive probability analytics that we are putting together. So athletes, their parents, the coaches can go through and they can find as much information as they need to make an informed decision. That's the key. And hopefully that mitigates some of this jumping around in the transfer portal. If from the outset, I can identify the right school, the right program. Hey, is this coach, is he my cup of tea? Because I may be a cat that's shy. And this dude's yeller. He's a yeller. I may go into my shell. I probably shouldn't go to that school. So there are different variables. There's more than do they win. They're more than, are they on television? How many bowls have they gone to? You've got to dig a little deeper. Do some more due diligence. And on the flip, these coaches, it's much riskier nowadays with the portal, with NIL, all the money that's associated with recruiting. It's much riskier. So if I miss on a player, it's similar to the pros now. If I go out and draft someone or get a free agent who doesn't pan out, how do I go now explain that to my bosses upstairs? I say, well, I just leaned on the legacy models, the on-3s or the 24/7s, and I'm not denigrating those models. I'm just saying we're going to dig a little deeper. We're going to give you a lot more information to help you make a better decision. So now if I'm that coach, I can say, hey, athletic director, this is what we use. We would sift through massive amount of information and data to arrive at this decision to take this particular recruit, then pan out. But I bet saying that will help you a lot more than saying, well, he had 4 stars by this entity, he had 5 stars by that, and which is very subjective. And that recruit can now, if I'm 5'6", 180, Texas ain't calling me to play running back.
Not at all.
I'm sorry. So I can have a window into that position room and see if there are any guys that are their metrics fit mine. We're going to have comparative analysis. We can project possibly down the road. I can put you up, Will Anderson Jr., number 3 pick in the draft last year, partner in the company. And we did this for Will, man. So now you got comparative analysis of Will as an edge rusher. Here comes another edge rusher. Okay, we're going to juxtapose your numbers with Will's. Not saying you're going to turn into a Will Anderson, but there's a probability if everything is comparable that you could. But this is what you're going to have to do to get to where Will is today. So you have that comparative analysis side by side, see where you can get to, where there's a possibility for you. So it's a win-win for everyone involved, man. And we want to just try to make this less riskier, more efficient for the recruiters, and for the parents. I was recruiting. I didn't know what the hell to ask them. I was just happy they were knocking on my door, help get me out of the ghetto.
And on top of that, B, is you're speaking from existence because you started at UCLA, right?
I transferred to Texas.
Right, exactly.
And it wasn't because of lack of playing time or any of that. Actually, I took a pay cut when I left UCLA. I can say that now.
You can say it now.
NIL was there. It was just under the table.
That's right.
Exactly. So it's
the caddy to the Buick, huh?
The issue with NIL and how it's being applied, it's not being done in the manner in which it was intended. This is pay for play now, which I am against. I'm as a big proponent of NIL. You should be able to benefit from your name, image, and likeness now while you're playing. Your earning potential should not be deferred. That's bull dookie. So, but these collectives and all that's not sustainable. It's not going to work. And NIL, if I'm just going to give a kid some money, what's the return on my investment? Is it a national title? Is it a conference title? What is it? So I think, and I've noticed this earlier when NIL came online 2 years ago, everybody at the media days, dude, they were decked out and they Christians and they Gucci, Prada.
Yeah,
last year, there was only a few cats. So there's already been a leveling of the market, because the free market is saying this ain't sustainable. We can't spend all this money and it's not helping my bottom line.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing if I want to help a kid out, cool. You know, here's a few ducats. But if I'm spending hundreds of thousands of dollars annually, how does that help my business? It doesn't.
Yeah. And I think initially the big pushback with why paying players wasn't okay as well was because the hierarchy that it creates in the locker room as well at that level in college. It's all supposed to be, you guys are all in college. There's not levels of this. You're not professionals yet. But being a Texas alum, I mean, you got guys like Arch Manning who just walks in. Didn't take a snap this year really, and gets paid one of the top NIL dollars. You see Bronny James, who's one of the top NIL
averaging 5 points a game.
Averaging 5 points a game. Is that good for the sport of college?
It's not good.
College athletes?
It's not sustainable, and I'll push back somewhat, because what we've always said about big-time college sports, that's the only place where socialism is allowed. No matter what you produce, you could be the starter on the team, or you could be sitting the bench, but they want everyone to get the same damn thing. They love equity when it comes to that. You can say the E word there, but don't say that in larger society. Don't say socialism in larger society. And there's always been a hierarchy. We knew the quarterback was going to get the prettier girl. We knew that he was going to get the most attention or what have you. The running back
in the movies.
That's how it's been set up, man. So we've always known that. So I don't think there's going to be a big rift in that locker room because this guy's getting that or that. And there's been some wise cats that Bijan Robinson was one of them at Texas. And Arch Manning is another one. To your point, though, he hadn't done anything, but that name carries weight.
Of course,
and they're hoping that's going to drive conversions. That's the key to all of this.
Right.
But those guys have been mindful that I need to help these other cats that block for me, and I want to give some to my brothers in this locker room. Yeah, I want to help family out, but these cats here, let me spread some of this wealth, and that's a great testament to the makeup of those young men and young women that do that as well. So the model, it needs some correcting, and it will. This is not surprising to me that this is Wild Wild West. I knew it would be, even though I was there, clamoring for NIL to come online. I said, this is going to be crazy because there are no guardrails, but we're just going to have to work ourselves through it. And there are a lot of things that have happened, whether it's in sports or outside of sports, where there were unintended consequences. But eventually we wrapped our arms around it and we came to some type of uniformity, and that's what's needed. I would suggest we make Nick Saban, who's recently retired, the czar of college football. Whom better?
The Godfather.
Whom better to pull all the pieces together and say, hey, let's get in the damn room and figure this out.
Wow. Rocking with Brian Jones, of course, of CBS Sports. Of course, Hook'em Horns, UT alum. Brian, something else that's happening in college football that I think a lot of people are looking forward to, as we just saw the Final Four playoff, moving to 12, man. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm all for it. I was for expansion when they announced it was just going to be 4. That's not enough.
Is 12 too much, though?
Nah.
No?
We'll see.
Because I thought like 8 was maybe the cutoff.
I want some football.
Okay.
And, it's funny to me that.
But not to cut you away real quick. What happens if a team, let's just say Temple, is 10-3?
That's a stretch. You know, my homeboy Arthur Johnson's there. AJ is the AD. Arthur, I'm pulling for you.
But let's just say they lost 3 games. I'm not saying you shouldn't be in a position to maybe play your way into championship, but we know in college every week makes a difference. When you get down to 12, it's kind of like guys have lost 4 times and all of that. I mean, is that?
Here's the deal. College is looking more and more like the NFL.
Okay.
Across the board, whether it's transfer portal, that's just straight up free agency. Now you have money involved. Guys are getting paid. Eventually they're going to have to be under contract so we can make this stuff binding, and that'll mitigate some of the movement too, as far as the transfer portal. So I don't care about that. That's fine. You're going to have some guys that with blemishes and some without. That's great. In the NFL, teams with blemishes, look at how KC struggled this year. They found they got straight, they found their groove, and they're back in the Super Bowl. So you're going to have blemishes, man, and you got them playing 12, 15 games currently. So
Right.
what's wrong with a few more? So all this bull dookie about, oh, they're going to miss class. You don't give a damn about class.
Right.
This is
Come
a
on now.
product that's making a mint.
Right.
I mean, the 14 playoff, that's almost $500 million they're generating just from that. So you tell me just because we got a team in there that's 10-3 that's sitting in that 12 slot, I'm not going to watch them play the number one team? Hell yeah, I'm going to watch them, because this is what gets me about folks. They are clamoring for football all year long.
Right.
It gets here. Then they start complaining about the teams you're playing. I get it. I understand the directional schools. It's not entertaining, must-see TV. But then now we got a 12-team playoff. They're complaining about that. They complain about all the bowls. You don't like it, don't watch it.
Right.
But people are sponsoring these bowls because somehow, some way, they're making some money. Or it's for them, we just want visibility for our brand. So it's a good business decision as far as they're concerned, and it's their money. So I'm not going to count their pockets. So with 12 teams, you don't like it, don't freaking watch it. I'm going to be watching because I want more college football.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be entertaining. Some games will be blowout. Look at what we've had in the 14 playoff. What did Bama do to Michigan State? Skunked them. What was it, 49-0?
Yeah, they didn't even come.
What has happened to Notre Dame when they've gotten in there? I mean,
Michigan got jumped
whether
on by
it's 4,
Georgia.
whether it's 12, yes. And TCU, wow. We don't want to bring up that deal. So whether it's 4 or it's 12, you're going to have some blowouts, but I'm just happy we still have football.
That's right. That's right. Brian, before we get you out of here, I did want to say, as we're talking a lot about college sports, college football, which I love, the one thing that I really hope that your recruiting platform does also help, and you keep talking about mitigating the transfers. These coaches, Brian, they're over-recruiting, and they've always over-recruited.
Always, yes.
Right? But when people say, oh, nobody wants to work hard, they just want to jump around, it's because they get there, and sometimes it's you know about it, sometimes you don't. You show up, there's 14 other running backs, but it's Alabama. How could you say no? You try your best, and you don't move. All right, I got to get out of here.
Well, don't be scared of competition, one. And if you want to move on, move. But this 3 and 4, 5 transfers. Come on, baby.
Yeah.
Grandma used to say, boy, go somewhere, sit down, and be still. and that's what they need to hear. And also, we learned as old heads, you don't leave a job unless you got another one lined up. So you got all these kids that are languishing in the transfer portal. And so we're hoping Edge3.ai can assist. We've already done it we helped Will Anderson Jr. with his NIL. We helped his brand as a collegiate guy and garnering more money for his NIL deals. They were just sending your garden variety deals and your autograph signings, legacy marketing. No, we're thinking outside of that. And you're going to pay this kid more than what this contract says because of his brand. So that's the key, these young men understanding that they are a brand. And I think they are more and more. I guess it was Jay-Z who said it the first, I'm a brand. And so they get that, but there's still some education that needs to take place. And that's why we're developing Edge3.ai. And the coaches, man, they ain't got time to look through all this stuff, look at all this film and sift through all this information. So how do we make that more feasible for them? Because they don't want to read they're busy enough. They ain't got time to read all that. And we've leaned on coaches. We have had focus groups with high school players. We've had them with recruiting coordinators at the collegiate level. We're going to be sitting down with other Power 5 conferences, get in there in their war room, see where the challenges are. And we're going to listen to them and help them build out Edge3.ai along with IBM's Watson X.
All right, before we get you out of here, got to take it to the NFL. Who you got on Sunday?
I cannot and I won't. I cannot go against Patrick Mahomes. Man. He is that cat is special. And I'm not taking anything away from the 49ers. They've had a heck of a year. I think it's going to be 38-31 Chiefs. Okay.
Ooh, high score.
Yeah. Let's hope for it, baby.
Great.
Yeah.
Man, right. Brian Jones, CBS Sports College football analyst. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Appreciate you
we'll
guys.
Definitely have you on
that
again
was awesome.
soon. All right, let's get to a break. Stiles and Watkins live from Vegas. Thanks to Jiffy Lube, Sactown Sports.
It started with 32